If anyone wants to join, they could message me. It's fine. Alrighty. Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Smudcast number 460, Lessons That Animation Taught Us, Rugrats, and Empathy. What an interesting title and subtitle. So this is a Maggie Mae Fish Day video. Welcome to Friday, and enjoy the end of your month. Hope January has been not too freezing, depending on where you are in the world. Usually in the Northern Hemisphere, it's winter right now. But, oh boy, Maggie Mae Fish. Always there to warm our day with her snappy wit and makeup style. It's always gets us embarrassed just watching her. So who knows?
Yeah. Let us be taught by the unempathetic eternal child about empathy.
There we go. Okay, so this video came out, 4 years ago in August, has about 102,000 views, and is positive 6.2K upvotes and 113 downvotes. That sounds like okay. It is 20 minutes and a half, so it won't take that long to go through. And I haven't really watched Rugrats. I sort of missed it. I wasn't that young, but I knew it was on TV. I just never watched it.
I hated it.
I never liked the art style. I never sort of got into it. I don't know. It wasn't for me.
Yeah. I found the art style horrible, and I didn't like the stories, and I didn't like the characters. I thought everything about it I found atrocious.
It seemed a bit not gross, but just sort of that was the intent to make you go, ugh.
Yeah, and that art style had a few products that Our Monster had it, but that one I liked. But that also fit better, I thought.
Okay.
Because that was supposed to be. It fit with the theme. That was supposed to be gross. It was supposed to scare you. Our Monster basically had the background plot of Monster Inc., where the monsters have to go around and scare people, scare children, to keep the magical pool that feeds them all charged up or something. So basically the same thing, just less polished and less nice and sweet and less
industrialized.
It's like the Star Trek to yours, the clean Star Trek that is Monster Inc. to the gritty, oily, messy Star Wars that was Our Monster.
I'd say that Monsters Inc. is very, very industrialized.
I mean, it's sterile, like most 3D animation today, and then there was Rocko's Modern Life, which was bloody amazing, same style, although it goes more into this. I think it's more of it goes more into the SpongeBob way of doing things. Well, that was basically the time where these things cropped up on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, and this is like during when Simpsons started taking off, like the 80s and 90s, I think, when this started. So it went on for a few seasons. I don't know if they rebooted it. I heard something about
They did.
Yeah.
But I've never had any past experience with this show, so.
Yeah,
I think that Simpsons is one of those shows that has been in near continuous airing since it came out.
Yeah,
late 80s.
It should stop. It should take a long hiatus. Like some shows do really well when they take a hiatus, especially as so much Simpsons. If you do reruns, no one will even notice anymore.
Yeah, since there's 25 seasons at this point.
I think they're over 30 at this point. It's insane, and the quality is dead since people argue about whether it's about 8 or 13 or something. I don't really even remember.
Yeah,
I'm convinced that it's been automatically generated for years now.
Yeah, it's just barely anyone from the original team working on it. I think there's one person left or something, and especially the writers. And they don't know how to do Simpsons humor. They do something else. They basically do Family Guy.
I think
they made it into a sitcom, which is ironic because at the very beginning it was like mocking the sitcom genre. And now it has become the very thing it was despising.
Yeah.
It's tough to keep doing a satire of everything because they just throw everything at the wall. And the crazy end of that would be the Family Guy. It's just that's the extreme end of that, where they also throw everything at the wall. But it's a little bit more mature and adult to get away with that kind of content, where The Simpsons was probably for family viewing and trying to poke fun at just about everything, which I don't know how that works when you're doing a comedy thing. A comedy should be very specific. Like the comedian would know his exact brand of comedy. Not every episode or every season is, hey, we're going to talk about elections, then we're going to talk about Halloween, then we're going to talk about stuff going on in the Middle East. Like there's too many things to poke fun at that you have to know how to crack a joke about those topics. And the writers must know what they're doing, but it just seems like a mess now. So,
but the biggest one is that like it has like clear bias towards the thing that I don't want to talk about. But it's tiresome.
All right.
Let's just leave it at that.
Okay. Well, anyway, let's get going. 20 minutes and a half. Hey, Dunn, how you doing, buddy? Glad to hear you. Well, previously when we heard you. Anyway, let's get going.
There was a lot to like about the...
Hey, she looks normal. Look at that. Her makeup is nice. Her hair is nice. Her dress is nice. She looks good.
Is she out of her 20 years late gender confusion phase?
I don't know.
Oh, this video was made 4 years ago. No wonder.
Yeah, she looks good.
She hasn't entered her 20 years late gender confusion phase yet.
Oh. Well, I like the way she looks. She looks normal. It's healthy.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's still a bit too much blush, but this is much better makeup.
Yeah.
What happened?
I know. She looks healthy. I like it. I'm appreciating the effort she put in. Okay. Anyway.
Rugrats when it first came out. The fun, upbeat theme music, the interesting character design, the jokes that I didn't understand, but I laughed anyways because I knew what a joke sounded like.
Excuse me, bro. My tax deductions are crying.
Even the animation style, those squiggly, ever-moving lines, invoked in me a feeling that the boundaries between things were not so stern, a worldview that seemed less certain about its surroundings, much like the babies that occupied it. But Rugrats was a show that was exceptional, not only because of the nostalgia factor or its financial success, or because we're getting a reboot.
It's a strange way to say something is exceptional because of nostalgia. It's like, hey, when I was a kid, this was there. I never watched it, but now that it's on again, it's nostalgic. Therefore, it's excellent. You're like, what?
She's making faces again.
Yeah, she does that. Anyway, that's a strange thing. Like, you never list how good was the movie. Well, it was nostalgic. Like, nostalgic for what? You've never seen this before. I don't remember what it was in it. Yes, but it was nostalgic. Okay, whatever.
That is live action somehow, but because the central theme of the show, empathy for people who are different than us, is something that we need more than ever today.
What?
Wow, that was really deep and heartfelt.
Maggie,
who am I, Mikey?
Maggie, that's the one thing you don't have.
Oh, no. Oh, please, no. Politics?
Who is this guy?
I think it's gonna become like a rant. We didn't even reach a minute.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This guy looks like he's about 50 miles away from Cuba. He's like ready to jump on the boat. All right, whatever. Let's see where she's going with this.
Newman? I'm nothing like Mikey.
What?
He's so positive, and I bet everyone loves him.
Mike Newman? Is that?
He's got 100...
Who is this guy? Mikey Newman. Does anyone know?
Never heard.
I'm looking now.
Mikey Newman is an American YouTuber and video game writer. Oh, he is known for the channel Filmjoy, which hosts film criticism series Movies with Mikey. The series celebrates the positive elements of movies and was nominated for the Outstanding Informational Series or Special Emmy in 2017. I have no idea who this is.
Newman suffered a stroke while playing games at Gearbox Software. That is understandable. Newman was hospitalized again in 2017. Newman has identified as asexual.
Oh God.
Oh, good boy.
Why am I not surprised? Get a doctor. Did their libido get lost after your stroke? It's not asexuality. That's just a symptom.
Yeah, I'm curious what he worked on Gearbox. They're the guys who did
Aliens, colonial marines, fighter. Ah! No!
Oh no! This is not a guy you want to give awards to.
You know that the awards go to all the
Brothers in Arms
people
Road
now.
to Hill 30, Borderlands, and Borderlands 2.
Well, didn't Gearbox do Homeworld? Didn't they do some?
Well, Gearbox also did Duke Nukem Forever.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
It didn't work on it.
They didn't do Homeworld.
Oh, they published it.
They did a remaster.
Oh.
The game Homeworld is from 2001.
Well, yeah, but Gearbox came.
I'm not sure Gearbox was a thing back
Yeah.
then.
It was. They did the Half-Life
Expansion,
expansions. What are they called?
Only remember it
Opposing
was-
Force?
The original Homeworld was Relic, and I think still Sierra.
I thought it was called Blue Shift. I can't remember what it's called.
Blue Shift, yeah, that was the other one, but like I think like the guy when you play as a Marine, that was like the first expansion pack that you got for Half-Life.
Oh.
That was also by Gearbox.
Okay, I remember that one too. All right.
That was literally the first thing that they worked on.
Yeah. All right. Awesome.
Also their best work.
Okay. Anyway, this is the guy who worked on Aliens Colonial Marines. Oh boy. Whew.
Ooh.
Good for you, Mikey. You got a job. You made something.
No wonder about the stroke. God,
I
I feel so sorry about him.
Yeah, how old? He can't be that old. He must be pretty young.
He's 39 now, so that would mean that he was 29 when he got the stroke.
Wow. What happened?
That is early.
Yeah.
Wait, even younger. Like, wait. Oh, 28.
Well, hopefully he's looking after his health because this does not sound good at all to get a stroke that young.
Anyway, I can see that like this was the phase of Maggie's life when she had to suck up to someone else because she was like no-name YouTuber.
Okay, I don't know what his politics are. I guess we know what they are because Maggie likes him. So, but let's just assume we don't know anything. Let's go with that.
1,000 subscribers. Plus, he's got this flashy After Effects intro. Ugh, I never learned After Effects. I'll never be good enough. Yeah, Mikey!
But since Mikey did challenge people to make videos about what we learned from animation, and I never turned down a challenge, and that's why I once ate so many warheads that my taste buds literally split in half.
I think he probably gave himself a stroke by adding effects that gave him an aneurysm.
Wait a second. She said she was eating so many warheads her taste buds got ruined? Or like what? Is she exaggerating? Is that real?
I don't see the problem.
It could. It's probably exaggeration. I love warheads, but you maybe can overload. Like if you eat too many hot tamales, you kind of stop noticing the hot cinnamon flavor.
Right. Warheads. What's the flavor of a warhead? I don't even remember.
Or multiple warhead flavors. It's pretty much like anything from lemon to cherry.
Oh, is it like a gradation? Like as you suck through it, it changes flavor?
No, it's just there are multiple flavors throughout.
Oh, okay.
Like there are multiple like warhead flavors
Okay.
you can get.
Cool. Okay. So she just stuffed her face full of them and tried to eat them. All right. That's fine.
So kind of like you would, like she just stuffed a bunch of multicolored Skittles into her mouth,
Right.
only they're extremely sour.
Yeah, that doesn't really explain her life as a whole to facilitate this existence and mentality. So it's like, all right, that's a small piece of the puzzle, but I doubt it did anything in her childhood. So
Honestly, Maggie Mae Fish is an unsolvable and solvable enigma.
yeah, I'm gonna go with that until the day I die because I don't want to know. Anyway.
Turns out my brother didn't even put his warheads in his mouth. You were in his hand the whole time. I thought to myself, well,
A baby's gotta do what a baby's gotta do.
in the 1980s,
What
broadly
was-
speaking, there were two types of kids' entertainment.
Also,
Garbage
Rugrats
pumped
did
out
this-
by
did
toy
its
companies
intro.
hoping to sell stuff to unwitting children, and Sesame
Type of
Street.
thing.
He-Man wasn't garbage. That was fun.
80s Transformers
It's
wasn't
fun-
garbage
It's
either.
fun. It's fun because it's garbage.
It was so goofy and silly. Like, this is retarded. I love it.
That's why it's bad, but it's so goofy and campy, but you love it because it's so goofy and stupid and campy.
No.
Yeah, I don't think Maggie, with her tastes, is the one who should judge things for being stupid.
Well, when you're a
Or
kid
garbage.
and you watch, these silly shows, I guess the 80s, He-Man and Thundercats and Brave Star.
Yeah, I mean that's at least it's He-Man is, if anything, honest and original garbage.
Yeah. It's not
Yeah,
it's not meant to be.
It's not just this pretentious parasitic garbage like The Last Jedi.
Yeah, it's not meant to be anything
Or He-Man
complicated, and kids want to play with the toys, and that's it. You just, woo, He-Man, woo, battle damage, yay.
or Masters of the Universe Revelations.
Oh.
You know what's strange? We never got the big bird in German Sesame Street.
Why not?
Weird.
We have all the others, but not the bird.
You're kidding. You're saying there was no Sesame Street show?
No. We had Sesame Street, and after a few episodes, Germany made its own Sesame Street.
Oh, really?
With the original puppets and everything, so proper license.
Oh.
But the Big Bird wasn't part of it.
Wow.
Maybe because the Big Bird is in this Bronx real life set with all these black actors and something, and we didn't have that because this is nothing that children can relate to because that is nowhere in Germany. Maybe that's why he wasn't there.
I
but
can
everyone
only
else was.
imagine.
We had an alternative to the forgot his name, Oscar, the green guy in the trash can.
Yeah, Oscar the Grouch.
Yeah, Oscar the Grouch. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we had a. I forgot the name, but we had a pendant to him.
Well, I'm just guessing what's going through Hawk's mind right now is like a German Sesame Street. Like, what would that be like? And he's like painting.
Oh, and we
pictures.
didn't have Elmo.
Oh, you didn't have Elmo, really?
We didn't have Elmo. No, but the kids' favorites here were Ernie and Bert,
Yeah.
and I don't know. You have a different name for him, the blue guy.
Cookie Monster.
No, the other guy.
Grover.
Grover, yeah. We call him Groby, which sounds like he's gruff.
Okay.
He's very rough with things, but
Oh.
yeah. No, those are the big favorites, and I love the Count.
Yeah, he was good.
And it took me, I was really happy when I figured out it's every time when he gets to 7 that he's laughing and lightning happens. So I got always anticipating, he's going to 7, he's getting to 7. Oh.
9. That's 9 times Dr. Seuss rolled in his grave.
Yeah, we had, I think we had some other things that you don't have for the moderation thing that we had in the studio. There was a big Sesame Street thing called Samsung.
Weird.
Samson or
You go.
Samsung?
Samson,
Oh.
like the guy from the Bible story.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Well, you know what?
And
This is news to
that
me.
guy was a full body costume.
Well, I gotta check that out. Not right now, but I'll check it out.
That sounds very
I'll
interesting.
put you a picture.
Yeah,
into
German
memes.
Sesame Street. That's so cool.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, Jim Henson, all over the world. Fantastic.
I had a whole section here about Reagan and the deregulation of children's programming in the 80s.
What the frickin' hell are you? The deregulation of children. There were so many awesome cartoons in the 80s. How did? Of course, there was deregulation. They let them in.
Specifically, like
this
the
was made in
stuff around,
2018.
not
Like they
children.
have been already like enough garbage on Cartoon Network to
It's more a matter
support
of, like,
her
you were-
argument.
It's more a matter of you couldn't advertise to children for a long time.
Right.
Use specific methods of advertising.
Did they regulate that in the US?
Yeah, they did. Like for a while, like they couldn't use that kind of TV show as a marketing platform to kids.
Yeah. So this is why we got so many toys and cartoons and cereal boxes and I guess junk food. I haven't thought about it, but there must have been a lot of junk food. But I grew up during the 80s, so it was just so much fun. Like I'd go to my cousins in Ottawa, and there was just like a whole other world of other toys and candy you've never heard of. So it was amazing. I can imagine what it was like in the States. It must have been crazier.
Oh yeah, I get the feeling that it was, because as soon as like they said, okay, you may advertise to children utilizing TV shows now, everybody did their thing. Everybody was wanting to make the hottest. Basically, I think it mainly started with Transformers. Transformers is kind of the most successful out of those specific like toy brands.
Right. And then you have to imagine during the beginning, not the beginning of the 80s, I think the mid 80s was when Nintendo came out, and that went nuts because Atari was the only big thing then. And then Nintendo came out with the NES, and that was just marketed like crazy. So, that was the beginning of video gaming in the home. So, bravo, Reagan, for letting people sell stuff to kids.
Yep.
But Lindsay Ellis covered this in a recent video, so I'll just say, try sitting through more than a few minutes of an original Transformers episode. They're unwatchable.
Cooking up another sleazy scheme, huh, Megatron? What's that? Something the Easter Bunny brought you?
Sesame Street was the exception because
That's
it had years of research
hilarious. Shut up, you idiot.
Who doesn't love the Transformers? It's so much fun.
Like, you do not want to talk about stuff that is cheesy and crap. You love stuff that is cheesy and crap. You live for things that are cheesy and crap.
Who would not like...
High Top Films' whole brand is that he thinks that Batman Forever is a misunderstood masterpiece.
What?
He's got a whole 48-minute video on the topic of why Batman Forever is awesome.
Oh dear. That can't be fun.
Oh, it's basically writing the movie for the movie, the video.
That's depressing. Okay, well. Anyway, let's keep going.
child psychology behind it.
I think it's fair to say that by the time our program goes on the air, it will be the most thoroughly researched show in the history of the medium.
In developing the show, doctors and teachers studied how kids learn to create a show tailored to inner-city kids whose educational needs may not be met by poorly funded schools.
The short, simple, 60-second form used by TV advertisers in commercials to sell products is used here to teach numbers and letters.
While all this was going on, Nickelodeon found some success in the 80s as the first U.S. television network aimed directly at kids. But aside from running a few syndicated cartoons, their content was primarily live action because of the tremendous cost of animation. By 1990, Nickelodeon was successful enough that they could afford to greenlight their own cartoons, which they called Nicktoons. In stepped husband and wife duo Gabor Chupo and Arlene Klasky, whose animation company worked on the original shorts and first 3 seasons of The Simpsons.
How does it feel to be a hero, Bart?
Pretty damn good, Phil.
Chupo and Klasky came up with a weird and wonderful show called The Rugrats, based on their experience raising their own children. It became one of the longest running Nicktoons of all time until a pineapple under the sea stole the secret Krabby Patty formula. After animator and producer Arlene Klasky had her second child.
SpongeBob is the softer version of Ren and Stimpy, you dunce. Not of Rugrats. Bloody hell.
Is it?
Have you watched Ren and Stimpy?
Yes, I did.
Yes, it's amazing.
It's very, very different in style.
It's yeah.
I would say it's quite the extreme.
Yeah, Ren and Stimpy is extreme on purpose. It is a complete. It is an in-joke parody and criticism of the entire industry.
Well, the guy who made it is pretty much insane. Like, but yes, he is like trying to get that message that like everyone else is a lazy ass fucker in the industry.
Yeah, SpongeBob incorporated lots of elements from Ren and Stimpy, just in a little bit less repulsive way, like the high quality close-up stills of disgusting things. That was a Ren and Stimpy invention.
I love it was I remember the animator was talking about the beach episode or whatever, because the writer wanted all these things. And the animator went, wait a second, are we going to like censor everything? Like, what the hell are we doing? And they said, yeah, just do whatever you want. And they just went ahead, had nudity, had all kinds of perverse actions going on. I was like, holy shit, they really went for it. So they were allowed to do all these crazy things. And I don't know how long this show went on to keep doing that stuff.
Yeah,
but
we had Ren and Stimpy for a while in the Saturday morning cartoons, because in Germany nobody gave a fuck. They just thought, oh, this is animated. Put it in the Saturday morning slot.
Yeah.
Nobody checked anything.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, until they probably got calls from parents like, what the fuck is this? and it then resurfaced on the late night content of MTV.
That makes more sense. All right.
Yeah. But SpongeBob is a soft version of Ren and Stimpy, if anything.
It's still going.
Yeah, I think it should take a break too. I mean, is the creator still working on it?
Well, the creator has been dead for like probably 6 years now.
Oh, they should find an ending. I mean, the kids that will grow up with, how many seasons are there?
12, 13.
At least 12.
Okay, that's enough. When a kid starts growing up with SpongeBob, and you just show the seasons as one season per year, which nobody does, you can get that kid to like 16, 18 with new SpongeBob content all the time. You don't need more seasons. Give the thing a rest, and then don't turn it into a zombie like The Simpsons.
Family Guy, which is still going.
Oh, Hawk in the chat says SpongeBob has ended.
Really?
Really now?
What?
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I have no idea.
So...
Hawk, if you want to highlight me, you have to write the channel name, not just the nickname. Then I'm more likely to see it. Yeah, Rugrats. The one thing I remember as a kid is that I did find the adult characters more interesting because they made more sense. And
also,
like she says, I could understand where they made jokes, even though I didn't understand all the context. Because that's just joke structure. You learn to spot joke structure before you necessarily understand the joke itself. It's also why we kind of figure out where the pointe is in a foreign language, because there are similar ways of incantation when telling a joke.
Alrighty.
Scrap the children characters, the babies in Rugrats. The adults are way more interesting.
All right.
She decided to stay home and watch her children full time.
But the whole time I was there would be things that I would be working on at home, and we wanted to pitch some projects to Sesame Street because we thought they do very cool things and creative things.
While at home watching her children discover the world, she saw humor and intelligence.
If babies could speak, what would they say? And the main impetus was that we had to shut the bathroom door so that they wouldn't try to get in the bathroom to stick his hands in the toilet.
She started to think about things from their perspective. She realized that she wanted to create characters around the question, how do these babies see the world?
If you didn't have teeth and you bit your tongue, it wouldn't hurt.
And from Arlene putting herself in her child's shoes came a show that captured just...
This is what I never got about Rugrats. Maybe there are children who think like these babies. I never had any of these stupid questions or thoughts. Like, what the hell?
I'm more like, what the fuck is like? I want to watch babies. I want to watch something like cooler than that.
Yeah.
I think this is really this was rather made for I don't know, overbearing mothers that are obsessed with children and how they're cutesy and may have all these cutesy fantasies when in reality they
like
don't.
That, yeah.
So I never enjoyed this. Like it's ugh.
I remember the 90s, early 90s was the Pirates of Darkwater. That was my cool show to watch. It only lasted like 1 or 2 seasons, I can't remember. But the animation was so high and they put a lot of effort into it, as you could tell. But
never heard of it.
I can only speak for myself, but in a similar vein, I didn't like Pippi Longstocking because it didn't make sense to me.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I never watched that. I tried to, rather. I just like, didn't look good. Yeah, you want to watch something cool with robots or magic or something with dragons, like something cool. Like, wow, look at this guy do all this cool stuff. I don't want to watch.
And that's why I wanted to watch Transformers, but it always kept changing TV slot, and I kept missing it.
Yeah.
I think I saw parts of the movie on TV at some point. But this is a really cool story. I was like, I don't know, 6 years old or something.
For me, it was Yu-Gi-Oh! And G.I. Joe Sigma 6. They were my shows that I tried to catch. Same with Dinosaur King and whatever was on 4Kids. Though I would watch Winx Club with my sisters.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think one of the first movies, aside from Superman, was the G.I. Joe movie. My dad took me to it at the theater. And that was like, wow! Like, that was amazing. All the balloons at the start. And all the people jumping into parachutes and all the fighting in the air. That was a really cool intro for a movie. So
G.I. Joe never ran here.
Oh, wow. That's too bad.
Probably because it's too militaristic.
No.
With Germany and their whole obsession with we can't show violence.
Yeah.
Like it's a bigger obsession than America can't show sex or something.
Yeah, I know.
I would just go to German national TV and play Postal 2 from beginning to end. And just broadcast to the entire nation.
Postal was indiziert, was completely censored.
I know. Even Team Fortress and Left 4 Dead was censored.
This really stupid, childish game. No, we must censor it. It corrupts the children. Gives
Even for 18-year-olds.
Gives them ideas of pissing on cats or something. Ugh. Yeah, but then we get all these Konstantin film Bernd Eichinger crap where you have a bunch of boys standing in a circle and nutting on a cookie, and then the one who nuts last has to eat it. Like, whoever did that? And all of these fucking Günter Grass movies and Bernd Eichinger shit, they all have this young boys doing gay shit stuff. And I asked around, like, who does this? Nobody I knew has ever done any of that. Maybe they don't want to admit it, but no, that's this. I think these guys like this whole Konstantin film, Bernd Eichinger, and Günter Grass stuff. I think they're all pedophiles.
Oh boy, maybe I won't watch.
Like, we get that as great German cinema and storytelling and books we have to read in school. And I don't want to read a book in school when I'm 14 about boys nutting on a cookie. What is wrong with you? Or about some analphabetic, analphabetic 50-year-old woman who worked in the office of a concentration camp, and then after the war now she grooms a boy to read for her and then has sexual intercourse with him.
Oh.
Like, why do I have to
Awesome.
read that as a 16-year-old in school?
Okay.
Because otherwise you're gonna turn into the angry German kid.
Well,
Why is all this crap we have to read in German school sexually abusing boys?
I think you should move to
If
Austria.
the sexes were reversed in that shit, I don't think it would ever come to see the light of day.
Just have like 2 years just of eating cake. Just spend 2 years eating cake. You'll be much happier.
Isn't Lolita
That's
read in schools?
sorry, chat. There's some genuine scars here. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Isn't
I got bad marks because I protested this shit.
Isn't Lolita taught in schools?
Not
here.
Not in high school. I would say it was done in university for sure, but not. I never had Russian authors or French authors. It was mostly just American and some British and Canadian.
I think we had like something very similar to that in primary school as like a mandatory reading.
Really?
It was about like some young girl. I think like she was like 9 or 10 in the book. Like the entire book was about like that she gets adopted, and she gets adopted to like abusive parents who will make her work for like 10 or 12 hours a day, and then like barely give her any food or clothes. And like that was the entire book. And like the teacher said, like, yeah, you see like how abusive parents are in like 200 years ago. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Well, Nabokov is not for everyone, but great writer once you're an adult. I think that's good reading in general. There's lots of great Russian authors, but he's up there. Yeah, we never got him in high school, unfortunately. But probably there's reasons for that, and the curriculum was a lot different for me as it was in other people, and even in the same province. So, and plus a Catholic school as well. So I doubt they'd be having stuff like that. Anyway, boy, now I want some cake just to feel better about myself.
I went to
The
the
cake
old
is a lie.
Mormon school, which is my house.
Anyway, okay, let's go.
It's how empathy can help bridge gaps between two different worlds.
When I sneak out of my room late at night, who's sleeping with a TV on so I can watch it? Grandpa? Right. He's the neatest grown-up there is. And now he needs us. We gotta help him.
Rugrats invited me to empathize with these tiny weirdos with big heads in a way that other shows didn't. Whereas most kids shows try to cast cooler, older characters so that their younger audience feels like they're hanging out with the cool kids, Rugrats' title characters were far younger than that of the target audience of 2 to 11-year-olds. This show
That's not exactly a fair comparison, but okay. I see what she's trying to get to, but watch
11?
Yeah, head of the class was that, or what was it? What was that called?
Wait, I'm sorry, I got distracted by chat. Are we still talking about Rugrats?
Well, no, she made a comparison to that other show where it's basically high school with a bunch of not stereotypes, but they sort of like, here's the jock, here's the cool guy, here's the cheerleader, here's the nerd.
Archetypes, you mean?
Yes, I think archetypes is better, and that's its own thing. That's a whole other shtick. It's a comedy. It's designed for laughs and to play around with the idea of going through high school. Whereas Rugrats is something else, and you have to actually get into it to know what the hell's going on. I think they're a little different, just a little different. Saved by the Bell. Thank you. I got that wrong. Oi.
Main thing that I remember of Rugrats was actually the Christmas special, because it was on a Nickelodeon Christmas collection. Like he had Little Ben. I think Little Bear was also on there. I can't remember. I definitely remember Dora was on there.
Okay. Nickelodeon was that HBO at the time? I can't remember.
Cannot have been HBO. That is so weird to me that it would be HBO.
I'm trying to remember because there wasn't the Comedy Network back then, but there were channels I couldn't watch, had to pay for to get stuff like Nickelodeon and later Adult Swim and all these other channels. Yeah, it's been a while. Whew. Anyway.
Invites young kids to think of babies not just as whiny little humans who poop all the time, but as tiny people with rich emotional lives. As someone who has had the privilege of writing narrative content for a younger demographic, I understand how
Yes,
hard
they
it can
have
be to make
rich
something
emotional
that's
lives, but they
fun
mostly
and
poop all the
funny,
time.
while also making sure it has something deeper to say. Even though to some adults it may just seem like
poo and pee based humor.
The show is designed not only to make us feel empathy for the babies, but empathy is also in play within the narrative as the parents, children, and grandparents try their best to understand one another.
No. It doesn't make us feel empathy for the babies through this. Humans, normal humans, Maggie, normal human beings,
But
something that you are not.
This is
have an instant connection to babies.
Well,
whether they find them ugly or not.
This goes.
This is a baby. Must protect. Baby has problem. Have to figure out why baby is crying. Make baby stop crying.
Right.
That's the instant thing, and then that's where the empathy comes in, Maggie. It's not fully. Oh, we have an adult narrative put into a 1-year-old's mind, so now we can empathize with the child.
Well,
Maggie, you're insane.
This is talking about any story that you like to watch. Drama is the only way you can have drama is if you care about what's happening on the screen. And that's a form of empathy. I care about Captain Jean-Luc Picard and what's going to happen to him in the next scene because, oh my God, there's a cliff. Like every commercial break was a cliffhanger in Star Trek. So you're like, oh, okay. So it goes with anything you're watching. You know, if you don't feel empathy for the characters you're reading or watching, you won't have drama and you won't watch it. You'll be like, I don't care. So to say I have empathy for children or babies is like, okay, what's their plight? What do they want? Aside from helping grandpa or what? Like there has to be a reason for me to watch the show. That's it.
And children that age do not have that complex ideas. That's not there yet. It's more like, oh look, my colorful toy. Play with colorful toy. Bonk colorful toy with thing.
It's like I talk about the isekai genre a lot, but there was an isekai manga I read that it was so Mary Sue. Like this was the most Mary Sue thing I've ever read. And every chapter, it was like the king is patting this guy in the head. You're a genius. You're amazing. That's unexpected. Like everything he did, every manga was amazing. And it gets so boring. So tiresome, so repetitive. I couldn't believe this was this is a boring power fantasy. Everything he does is perfect. I'm like, oh.
Worse than Empress Teresa?
I don't know exactly. Empress Teresa, what was that?
It is a book written by a man who basically makes Teresa the mouthpiece for God.
Oh.
His character.
Okay, the one that I don't know. I have to check that out. This is called Noble Reincarnation. It's this 6-year-old kid, and he does amazing shit for 10 manga episodes, and then he's 12. Same shit. He's just amazing every day. He gets appointed to the Ministry of Justice. He's everything he does is amazing. And you're like, what the frickin'? It's so annoying. It's tiresome very quickly. I don't mind you have overpowered characters. You just can't repeat the same plot points every single episode. It drives me nuts. So
that sounds like exactly like Empress Teresa.
Yeah. So
it's for and it's so weird. It's like what? Don't read the book. Just watch Crimson Rogues. It's like 8-hour review of it.
Oh my God.
Like he goes in depth into each section and why it's bad. It is so funny.
Yeah, so there's stories out there that are designed for a certain audience, for kids or what have you, power fantasies, escapism. If they're done poorly, you're not going to care. You're not going to empathize. It's boring. It's silly. You'll watch. And at the time, the 90s, there was all kinds of shows, cartoons, even stuff in like 10 o'clock that wouldn't air normally, like the Comedy Network. That like people that I don't know how they would do this, but they would record stand up from random places in the States. They would syndicate that, and you heard of comics I've never seen of anywhere else, and I doubt they're popular or they lasted that long. But it was weird. Like, there were a lot of weird shows. There was City TV in Toronto. We had a whole movie night every night, essentially, on Channel 7. That was also for sci-fi and then fantasy. So lots of weird stuff happening on primetime TV. Anyway, let's keep going.
Even if they can't always communicate verbally. The running joke where Dee Dee tries to use the advice of child psychologist Dr. Lipschitz, let's see what the book says, emphasizes that not only do parents not quite get the children, but even the parents and grandparents disagree on child rearing techniques. The show is like one giant web of well-meaning miscommunication. Like the internet, if the internet had a shred of empathy.
Something that you don't,
the adults
Maggie.
are always trying their best to understand
your
and take
types,
care of
your
the babies,
whole
and the
political
babies
side
are
has
trying
none,
to understand
has no
and
empathy.
experience the adult world. This emphasis on empathy is part of the reason that Angelica is the perfect antagonist for the show, but we'll get to her later. First, a core empathetic element of the Rugrats, which in my opinion is sorely missing in modern mainstream culture, is male-male friendship.
Like from
Most
you
narratives
people.
feature a sole, heroic male lead.
Oh God! Like, don't make this into gay shit.
How did
please?
How did we?
Please.
That's my fear. But this is 4 years ago.
Yeah, but how do you
Maybe
get?
she's not yet obsessed with that.
How do you get male-male friendship with babies? They're 2 years old at best.
I think that she's actually referring to something more baseline. I think she's referring to the fact that they have a male-focused narrative and protagonist. I think that is what she is complaining about.
Is she gonna compare it to Frodo Baggins and Samwise Gamgee?
Maybe. Why don't we backtrack and then see what she says after?
I think the only reason she's not making this gay is because this is, two reasons. 4 years ago, where she wasn't as mentally infested by this insanity, on top of her own insanity. And second, because it's babies.
It better be.
Because the kids are so little that she can't put sexuality on them because she is not that level of pedophile.
If you even consider that for a kids show, there is something going on upstairs. That's
Didn't she do it for the Pixar movie with the mermaid guys?
Yeah, well, that was that her? Or was that someone else? I know what you mean. I thought she did it with the robots show with all the.
Oh yes, robots. That movie.
Yeah. Oh boy, yeah. That would be really freaky if she started doing that here.
Maybe he'll have a sidekick, but sidekick relationships are by definition almost never equal or emotionally supportive. They're more transactional, like a boss-employee relationship, or hierarchical.
So Batman and Robin? That's a...
Frodo and Sam is fairly non-transactional. Sam is getting but nothing from traipsing around Middle-earth, killing giant spiders, eiders.
Is she
fighting weird mutant magic drug addicts?
I'm sorry, maybe it's too insane, but I have a hard time keeping track. Is she claiming that male friendships are only transactional and hierarchical?
Sidekicks, whatever. Like say Jubilee and Wolverine is a sidekick. Let's say that.
Or,
yeah, but sidekicks are not. That can have elements of friendship, but it's not friend. Like Batman and Robin, there is a friendship there.
Yeah,
the sidekick thing is similar to the knave to the knight.
Right, and she said hierarchical.
It's like I'm taking you under my wing to teach you the
right, exactly.
the skills.
Yeah, so when you say hierarchy, it's like no shit. There's a hierarchy as a sidekick. That's why they're to the side of you. You're the person doing the main job, or the main task, and they're to help you. It's the nature of like this is basically any relationship you're going to have. There's a hierarchy, a boss.
I'm sorry, but yeah, go on. Sorry.
A boss to an employee, or a friend who's helping you with a job. Like it's not his problem. He's just helping you. This is how it works. This is how things go. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just want to hear this thing again in more context.
This emphasis on empathy is part of the reason that Angelica is the perfect antagonist for the show, but we'll get to her later. First, a core empathetic element of the Rugrats, which in my opinion is sorely missing in modern mainstream culture, is male-male friendship. Most narratives feature a sole, heroic male lead. Maybe he'll have a sidekick, but sidekick relationships are by definition almost never equal or emotionally supportive.
Okay, that is first. That is a lie.
Yes.
Second,
Frodo and Sam completely destroys this argument. Shut up.
Yes.
Yeah. She could make the argument. Oh, but it was written 100 years ago. But this, I cannot believe she's saying this stupid shit. Like, look at Star Wars. That's the original.
Yeah, you have Luke cares deeply about the death of Ben. I don't like they're not emotionally supporting each other. Really? Okay. Luke chops off a guy's arm because he looked funny at, or Ben chops off a guy's arm because he looked funny at Luke. So yeah, they're supportive and helpful.
Maggie, you may not understand this as a not just as a woman, but an absolutely crazy, unempathetic woman. But male friendship works different from female friendship and from male-female friendship.
Well, yeah, that's,
in some ways that
that's
is
a good point.
differently expressed.
Yeah, to say that we have friends that are guys.
Maybe you shouldn't, as you crazy socialists keep saying, you shouldn't womansplain in this case because you have absolutely no fucking clue how men think. You probably don't even have any clue how normal people think.
Yeah, that's a good point, because when you talk to, I don't know, say a woman, and she expects you to react the same way her female friends do, and you're like, what are you why are we doing this? Like, why do you want me to entertain you and tell you stories? Why did you call me? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, this is this is a common thing in relationship problems.
Yeah.
The women expect their men to act like their female friends, and the men don't understand why the woman isn't being rational at all.
It's bizarre. And this is something
that's this disconnect.
Who here has seen the nail in the head thing? Where the woman just wants to have the guy empathize, and the guy is seeing the nail in her head as the main source of the problem.
I have no idea what you mean.
This woman has a nail in her head.
Yeah.
And she's still talking, and her husband's like, "Hey, can I pull that out, please?" And she's like, "This is not about the nail. It's about you listening to me."
I still don't understand the metaphor.
It's not. It's a literal nail.
I think that the problem is that the woman just wants to do the same that she does with her female friends, which is vent about the problem, but not solve it, because solving the problem is work. And what the man does, the way the man empathizes, Maggie, and all you feminists, you narcissistic feminists without empathy out there, the way the man empathizes and cares about his woman is by listening to, he does listen to you, and then he offers a solution to your problem, because he wants your problem to go away so that you do not have to rant about it tomorrow and the day after and next week again, because he wants you to not have the problem anymore. That's why he offers you a solution. That he offers you a solution is proof that he is listening.
Yeah, so let's think of...
He's skipping the step of, oh yeah, that's bad.
So
because that is irrelevant. He already knows it's bad. He offers you the solution, a possible path out of the problem that he may or may not, even depending on the problem, offer to do it for you, to help you solve the problem, not just by giving you a plan, because he has this war room in his head. Okay, woman has this plan. How do we attack it best? We put this battalion here and that artillery over there, and then we'll have this problem besieged, and in a month it's gone. That is how the man listens and cares. He skips the "oh yes, honey, that is bad" step and goes right to the here's a battle plan. And the woman, being the unempathetic, narcissistic bitch that she is, does not understand that the offering of the solution is the man not just having listened to her, but already having done the cognitive work. Like he used up energy and stress to already figure out a plan. Because and she thinks, oh, he didn't listen to me because he didn't say it was bad. He just gave me a solution. Like, the solution is the best thing you could get. That's what you have the man for.
And also,
you empty bint.
Some measure of selfishness on the men's part too, because he kind of wants to have sex with his woman.
That's a whole other issue.
Well,
look, when a woman is having the stupid rant, nonsense, crybaby, victim shit going on, the man doesn't want to have sex with the woman.
Well, okay.
Because in that state, the woman is absolutely repulsive.
Right. We want to focus on the difference between men and men relationships and activities and how they work, and women and women relationships. They're not the same. And she's conflating the two, saying, "Well, sidekicks are non-supportive." It's like, compared to what? What are you trying to get at here, Maggie? What is the point?
Because, and she thinks like that because she has absolutely no empathy. She cannot imagine people thinking and feeling in a different way from herself. This is how you can figure out whether you're dealing with a narcissist. If that person is unable to do that, this seeing the world from another one's eyes.
All right. Anyway,
especially someone who's not like her.
Anyway, that was one minor point she made that made us go, huh? But we can keep on going. It's okay.
Fucking retard.
They're more transactional, like a boss-employee relationship, or hierarchical, like a father-son thing.
Let's get going and make an emergency bat turn.
Not this time, old chum. Have to think of the golfers. The retro rockets would burn up the course for 100 yards.
But Tommy...
What kind of example was that?
Isn't a boss and a worker like the same thing as a hierarchical?
You want to tell me that a father-son relationship has no empathy in it, but is all about hierarchy?
I mean, that's the thing.
Do you think father-son relationships are psychopathic? Are you bloody insane? I'm lost for words.
Yeah, just calm
Honestly,
down.
lost for words. Just put this menace to humanity into a closed ward, because all she's spewing on the internet is beyond what they call misinformation.
Well,
it is pure brain damaging insanity.
She's using categories as if they're different when there's overlap with all these examples. Like, you could have said the same thing of all the other examples she used. So I want to know why she's doing this. Like, why is she giving all these categories if they all mean the same thing? The examples all show the same traits. So
yeah.
Let's see.
And Chucky love each other. And I mean love with capital letters, the type of love and affection that is more common to see between two female friends.
Okay.
No, you fucking idiot.
Wait.
Men just express this differently when they're older.
Babies hug and pat each other and, roll around if they can. But other than that, what do you want them to do?
Yeah, yes, Cyber in the chat. Yes, she doesn't understand men.
Well, no.
She thinks men are only the empathetic when they act like women.
She's comparing a cartoon of babies acting like 8-year-olds, like the mentality, like they can talk and walk in this, with baby goals. Like, we want to go over there and help grandfather turn on the TV. Like, okay, and then she's comparing that sort of interaction, like physically doing that, to this show of women who are in their teens, having a good time, hugging each other.
I think that's an ad.
What? Yeah.
And yes, Flopper Apocalypse in the chat. Yes, Chucky is the sidekick. I remember that from the show.
Like it's a strange comparison. I don't even know why she's doing it.
Chucky is dumb. Like, he is much dumber than all of the other kids from the little I've seen of Rugrats. He's always, like, the cowardly one. He's always nervous about stuff.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Bad comparison. I don't know why she did that, but she did.
I know why she did it.
Tommy and Chucky
Told
love
you.
each other without any fear of no homo. It's sad that just this small
No, you asshole! You bloody asshole! See, this is the fucking point. This is here. This is probably the one moment where, because it's babies, it is actual babies with more cognitive ability than they should have, for the show's sake. Otherwise, the show wouldn't work. But this is actual babies, and this is the only reason she's not putting on Eros into this. Because she does not understand other forms of love at all. She does not understand, what is it, philia, storge, and I always forget one of them.
Agape.
Agape, thank you. She doesn't understand these. She only understands Eros. If this show had, instead of babies, had 15-year-old characters, she would immediately say they're gay. Immediately. Because she cannot think any other way. Because she is a narcissist. That does not mean that not only means she does not have empathy, it also means she does not understand any sort of love beyond Eros, beyond the sexual. This is the problem.
Woke.
Well,
Which doesn't help.
I hope she's making an appeal to comedy with this reference to no homo, saying, "Oh, we would never have said that back in the day." It's like, yeah, we wouldn't, and we still wouldn't today if it came out today. Like, we wouldn't think this way.
Yeah, and look, bros act like this to with each other when they've accomplished something amazing.
Yeah, this is
same fucking thing.
The same 14-year, whatever those, however old those ladies were in that show or commercial. That happens to guys all the time. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
They're in a sport. They're running around. They're helping each other out. This is normal. Very, very odd. I don't know. Maybe she just did not hang around boys when she was growing up. I don't know.
No. Absolutely not. She has not been hanging around with humans.
Yeah. I think she's. I mean, we know she comes from a rich, what she would call privileged bourgeoisie family.
Yeah.
And
from a farm, yes.
Yeah, the farming community. And it's I think it's most likely she had Oedipal parents and got everything she ever asked for, and never had to interact with other children.
Yeah, just think of all the times when you were a kid playing games or sports with your friends. You were touching each other and picking each other up and dusting each other off all the time.
Yeah.
And also,
I think if she was around other kids, she was the bossy one who decided what the rules were, and that's why eventually nobody wanted to play with her, because she was just a cunt.
Yeah, come join our side. We have the people we like Brandon Sanderson, are building their own personal supervillain layers with a private movie theater in it. Really,
Whatever that
it's
has
actually
to
a
do
thing.
with
I've
this.
seen it.
You just want to brag that you've been in Brandon Sanderson's secret underground cinema with these secret passages.
Anyway.
I don't know what that has to do with this.
Anyway, it's okay. Let's keep going.
seems subversive. And even though Chucky is arguably Tommy's sidekick, they need each other equally. There's even an episode where Chucky sees what his life would look like if he had never been born. And we learn that although Tommy
That is not something children think about.
Tommy's courage is very much a result of his relationship with Chucky.
The only reason he's so brave is that he has you around to back him up. Having a friend like you gives Tommy the guts to stand up to bullies like Angelic.
Oh my god,
Wow.
what happened to Angelic?
Baby Cupboard cookie crumbs.
The Rugrats movie increases the stakes over the TV show. Although Tommy often acts as his best friend Chucky's caretaker, within Tommy's immediate family, he has always been the center of attention since he was an only child. But when Tommy's little brother Dill is born, Tommy's confronted with the terrible reality that his mom and dad now see Dill as a higher priority than Tommy.
Please stop. Don't you see? I want Mom and Dad for me.
Tommy's still just...
Oh, God.
Oh, I think I understand it. Like, I get it. Like, Maggie is just fucking jealous of attention. It's like attention-seeking whore.
I'm not sure what to make of this. This is strange. This is the strangest take. I'm like trying to interpret what she's saying, and I'm like, okay, yeah.
Why is this about empathy?
The kid wants attention. He's only 1 or 2 or whatever.
The story is being told by the baby's perspective. Of course, it's gonna be about like, oh, we have to root for it because the show is making it out to be.
Right, yeah. So to have these childish plots like I want attention from mommy and daddy is like, right, jealousy, gotcha, okay.
But it's also normal at that age.
Yeah.
You're still at the me age.
Exactly.
And you have to be, because it's about you are the dysfunctional little thing that requires the caretaking.
Right. And the creators of the show are trying to make the show appealing to adults or whatever demographic they've got going here, because it sounds like it's not an action, but an adventure story. Like they're going around the house, or they're going around in this fantasy world of pitfalls and traps, and with their
giant mech mecha Godzillas.
Right. So they gotta do fun stuff. They can't just keep it all kiddie, silly, goofy stuff. They gotta actually have fun, fascinating, fantastical stuff. So it's a mix.
Drama of my single dad is getting married to somebody who is clearly a bad person.
I'm trying to think who would even go to the movie theater for this, for this show.
Yeah.
But then the plot, because the plot, this plot it's been done in other ways. It's just it's not that special or anything, but the only people I can see profiting from this are other retarded parents that forget, oh yeah, we should care equal attention to our little children. That's the only thing. But because otherwise, what the hell is this?
Yeah, I don't think the movie did very well.
Probably not, because it's basically like this is for 6-year-olds essentially. This is a TV show for 6-year-olds with a little bit of stuff thrown in for the parents who are being forced to watch this. They're tyrannical little kids.
Yeah, but it's I found it repulsive to watch. I don't know what kids like this. I don't know what I really do not know. In school, everybody liked every other show but Rugrats, because Rugrats is cringe, and the way in the German dub, the kids don't talk as much like retarded children with speech impediments as I heard here in the English dub now, or the original. But it was still unbearable.
1-year-olds, how do 1-year-olds talk?
But they all talk like this, and with the expression with high voices. What the hell? How can you listen to that?
So yeah, I just checked the ratings on.
I hated that when I was a kid.
Rotten Tomatoes.
Who likes this?
Out of the 54 reviewers, he gave it a 59%. And out of 50,000 plus ratings of the audience, it gave it a 50%.
But the critics said 95?
59.
59, okay.
Yeah,
so both failed. Failed on both.
Yeah. Essentially. It's tough. It's tough to... I would not... If I was a kid, I wouldn't be interested in this. If I was an adult, I'm not sure I'd care. Like for my kid, like it'd be a thing you bring your kids to. And I'm like, I don't know. Doesn't seem very comical. Like you need the adult references for you to want to enjoy it, but it also has to be a plot for kids that makes sense and they can follow and enjoy.
That's why Aladdin is so successful.
Aladdin is great. It's got something for everything, or for everyone.
Yeah, that's the great stories. And there's people in the chat who like the movie. Okay, you do you.
Well, the trailer says, "I'm sorry, guys, I got a wedgie." Like, some of the plots revolve around the transference of diapers to regular underwear.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Like, who complained about that? What weird children are these?
I think
this is a general thing.
Might have been one of one of my sisters might have been either me or one of my sisters might have been one of those weird kids that preferred diapers to underwear. I can't remember.
There's well, it depends. There's this female underwear that just cuts into the skin because it's just absolute crap quality. It's cut completely differently, uses different fabrics for sewing off and stuff compared to male briefs or boxes. That aside, it's my general problem with US media because our media was basically flooded with it, and we barely have our own productions these days. Is that all these American stories with all these stereotypes and archetypes like American school life and university life, and even these plots here, like with the babies. None of the you have nothing in Germany or Europe in general to relate to any of this. This is all basically a fantasy world. All these American stories with all their American characters that maybe you come across in America, and these school dynamics. That is for us here. That's a fantasy world, because that's not how reality is at all. This is so weird. That's why. I mean, I can still relate, and as a kid too, I still could relate with all these characters, what they go through, but the problems they were facing, the people they were facing, it was like none of these things exist in real life.
Mm-hmm. There are some like stretches of it, like my little sister, like until like the time she was 14, refused to wear anything around the house other than like her like kitty nightgowns, because like she just found them more comfortable.
Smart girl. There you go. Well, for me, it's bathrobes, but everyone should be wearing a bathrobe in their home. So
And then Kyoker in the chat says, if you didn't wear a kit in the US in the mid-late 90s, this was great. This is what people who call themselves 90s kids grew up on. Lots of the stuff in the that you grew up on in the 90s was great. Rugrats was not one of them.
Yeah, but you're not American, so you wouldn't know.
Did not have I didn't have.
He said didn't wear a kit in the US. We had basically all US products here and media and other stuff.
Yeah, but dubbed in German. Oh. Like you dub the Simpsons that like, where's my burrito? Instead, like
Simpson dub was great.
Where's my fish sandwich? Like, what the fuck?
I actually did not have TV growing up. My
90s dubs were still good. It only stopped at the end of the 90s where German dubs turned to shit.
They were never
good. It was due to Arena Synchron Berlin
should have been subtitled, but Germans can't read subtitles, so they dub everything. They destroy the media, just like in World War One.
Germans can read subtitles. It's just this.
Then why do you dub everything?
It's a thing of the past.
No.
At least we're not the Polish who just keep the original sound on, just put the volume lower and have one guy speak over everyone in the same monotone voice. I've seen Polish Alf. Dude, compared to that, even nowadays German dubs are better.
Oh, wow. Suddenly I feel like a ginger ale. I don't know about you guys, but wow. Nice.
And don't give
yes.
Don't give me this. Don't give me this. But the dub breaks the jokes in context or other stuff.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
They do.
They change the context.
Yes, they do. They do. But I've seen subs that do the fucking same. The subtitles from Das Boot is there's so much nuance lost. And the thing is, in subtitles, you do not have the constraints that you have in dubbing.
Well, that's why anime
try to be lip sync. Let me finish.
Subgroups need to sub those.
Let me finish. In the subtitles, in the English subtitles for Das Boot, you do not just have a lack of nuance and character in a little bit, which isn't that horrible. There are a couple lines that are completely changed from what the characters are actually saying, replaced with stereotypical propaganda crap. That's in that now ancient movie in the subtitles.
I actually
don't give me this crap that the subs don't do that and only dubs do that. Subs do that just as well.
So I actually did not have TV growing up. The only way I was able to watch cartoons was the early internet, and that was a lot of the time significantly later than it was released. So I wasn't like one of the Saturday morning cartoon kid generation. It was like a time slot I had to get. I just found it on the internet.
Interesting. Okay. Well, we're not even half done, so see how far we get tonight.
Just wants his mom and dad all to himself. In a moment where Stu empathizes with his son, Tommy, about the hardships of having a younger brother.
But sometimes little brothers, they aren't everything you'd hope they'd be. That's why big brothers have got to have faith.
He also tells Tommy about responsibility by giving him a family heirloom, a gold watch. But since Tommy doesn't have a firm grasp of spoken English and doesn't have much life experience, he doesn't get it yet. Instead of grasping the complicated idea of responsibility, or as he calls it,
my responsibility,
he mistakes a clock for a compass. The lesson goes over Tommy's head, and as the story progresses, Dill, a helpless baby who requires even more constant care than Chucky, really gets on Tommy's nerves.
You didn't leave any for me! I need some blankie too. Dylan was right! You're a bad, naughty baby and you're never gonna get any better!
At the climax of the film,
why does he have to talk like that?
Literally and symbolically by tossing away the watch.
Because it's a lot of middle-aged women doing.
Always sounds like he's crying and screaming.
And then starts dumping banana baby food on Dill to feed him to the monkeys in a tragic Shakespearean moment.
If you make the baby talk, you don't need to do it like that.
He can't speak German.
But Tommy stops when he looks down and sees the tears in Dill's helpless eyes. The shot then pans over to a puddle so that we, the audience, see Tommy's anger fade and turn to sympathy. In seeing Dill's face, we are invited to empathize with the weaker of the two babies. And in seeing Tommy's face, we are invited to empathize with the stronger of the two babies.
Oh, okay. 10 minutes for the empathy could come in. Okay.
The same person at two different stages in their life. It's a subtle way of...
Maggie, are you telling me you as the audience could not empathize before this scene?
I think she tried to articulate what was going through her mind when she watched the show, and you're like, yes, we feel sorry for the kid who's crying. Then,
but now she might have a slight regret over her abortion.
Oh.
Did she have one too?
I don't know. I'm going by the Lindsay Ellis strategy.
This is like describing how drama is. It's like, I feel something for this character because they're doing something cruel. And the person who's the target of that cruelty is sad, and I feel sorry for them. And then the person doing the cruelty has a change of heart, and I feel for them as well. It's like, thank you. Yes, this is called drama. This is great. Thank you.
Obviously.
It's like
your tone for stating the obvious is utterly...
Yeah, it's like, here's a fight scene. I love the scene where the guy punches the guy in the face. And the guy gets wow, it's so great. And the guy doesn't get knocked out. He comes back. Oh, I like that guy even more. And it's just like, okay, yeah, every blow is interesting. We get it. Great play-by-play there, Maggie. The empathy is really rolling off the brain there.
Telling us, remember how there was a time when you didn't have all the answers? So maybe when you get upset at someone, don't try to get a bunch of monkeys to commit murder for you.
What?
In that moment, Tommy finally understood.
Yeah, Maggie, Yeah, Maggie.
You ask your monkeys to commit murder all the time on social
Yeah,
media.
exactly. You gloat about other people's misery. It's a perfect frame again, by the way. You gloat about other people's misery when they don't agree with you, when they're not on your insane side of politics. You gloat. And you cheer when people hurt those who are not on your side of politics. You have no empathy at all. You are the villain. Bloody hell.
Stands and accepts the responsibility of becoming a caretaker and an older brother, retrieves his watch, and as they fall asleep, Dill pulls their torn blanket from earlier over Tommy, symbolically repairing their relationship that had been broken. That is some heavy imagery for a film that features Busta Rhymes as a Godzilla stand-in.
I am Reptar!
One visual motif that we see pretty often in Rugrats, in the
that's
opening
not
sequence
deep.
of the TV
That's
show
pretty
and repeatedly
simplistic.
in the film, is mirrors. In film theory, there is this concept borrowed from psychoanalysis called the mirror stage. It's a little outdated now, but put very simply, it's when a baby looks into a mirror
Period
and
is
starts gaining the
stupid.
realization that they are not the same.
Did she say psychopathy?
What?
What did she say? Psychopathy?
Psychoanalysis.
Psychoanalysis, the old Freudian stuff. The thing, the mirror, Maggie, the mirror thing is not outdated. I've talked with this about with other people who did not have a full childhood amnesia, and there are some of them that remember the moment where their consciousness kicked in, like the thing where you realize you are your own being. You are not that you and the world are different things. You and other people are different things. Especially one friend of mine, have lost contact with him for about a year. I hope he's still alive. That where he told about he was about 5 years old, and when looking in the mirror and suddenly having this like a switch flipped, and suddenly he realized, whoa, I am my own being. Like really, this thought kicked in. Like this in the mirror, that's me, and I am me, but I am different from everything else. He remembers that awakening of consciousness. And with this whole mirror thing, we still test, and with a varying degree of success, because you can misinterpret certain things. We can still test which animals have developed that level of consciousness and which haven't, and then at what age they do. Maggie, this is not outdated. This is one of the foundational things.
Yeah, it's not
one of those things where Freud wasn't wrong.
Yeah, it's not a big. I do remember studying this in first year, but it wasn't that big a chapter. It was just like, okay, here's a section. I think the visual cliff was a bigger topic of conversation because of what it represents. This was like a minor footnote kind of thing. I want to know where she's going with it though. It's like, why did you bring this up? This is a strange thing to talk about. At least
to understand the train wreck
from the Rugrats movie. I don't know. Like, okay, yeah. What are you getting at? There's lots of things you could reference.
I have only seen the beginning and the very end of the Rugrats movie because I just caught it at Walmart one time.
What a bloody ignoramus.
Center of the universe, but part of a larger social and symbolic order within and against which the individual is constantly trying to define her or his identity. Over the course of the movie, Tommy's identity shifts from...
Why see that again? I want to dissect that.
Yeah.
What? Okay.
Cinema studies. Okay, so cinema studies. So nothing, not science.
No,
just the ramblings of an artist.
No psychology. No.
Mm-hmm.
Of a larger social or symbolic order within and against which
the individual is constantly trying to define his or her identity.
As a 1-year-old, I don't know. It's
in general. This is not a conscious a conscious battle or war. It's like
I don't even agree.
I don't know how to put it, but it still reminds me of a narcissistic mind that is trying to impose I'm special on everyone.
This is no different than
and not what a normal mature consciousness is, or a maturing consciousness.
This is no different than a kid trying to grasp the concept of a box, how they can't see the world because the box is over their body or their head, and they're amazed by it. What is this? What is this thing I'm experiencing? And then the box comes off. Oh, I could see light again. Or a light switch. The light goes on, the light goes off. How does that work? And they see it. They're like, wow. And that's the same sense of wonder and confusion. You're like, what is going on with the world? I can see and now it's dark again. Like, this is nothing.
Yeah. This sounds like absolute hogwash. And I think I have an idea what's going on here. And this is that these artist types and the lots of these social justice warriors, socialists in general, like including the Nazis, they attribute intention to everything they see in nature.
Well, that's part of it.
Like as if yeah. But another example is how they see evolution, where they see, evolution has this goal of perfection, which it does not.
No, it doesn't.
Evolution is just a random process that, this shit sticks to the wall, so it stays.
Yeah.
That's really all it is. And it's not striving to perfection. It is a passive process that creates environmentally adapted species.
Yeah, I don't see...
There's no intention behind it. And what I derive from the idea of evolution having a distinct, a concrete goal, was the social Darwinism bullshit, which had nothing to do with Darwin's ideas and theories.
Well, I don't
that's where they then got the accelerationism of that from, where they thought, that this means that we have to help evolution on the way through eugenics.
I really don't think a child who can't grasp the concept of a watch, a memento, of an heirloom, is suddenly struggling with a sense of identity by looking in the mirror. It just does not register at all to me.
Yeah, this is just a moment that happens at some point by growing up. I think I had that while I was still playing with like wooden blocks and building something. But it's just very classical, if you will, that this friend of mine had that while looking in the mirror, but you don't need the mirror for it, and just looking in the mirror doesn't trigger that. I
think this is one of those left-leaning ideology concepts of identity that they're just throwing the word at the thing, the art they're looking at, and saying, this is clearly a sense of identity happening in this character. And you're like, maybe?
You're not fighting for your... This is a complete miscomprehension of the term identity. That you don't have to fight for your identity. You just are. People just are.
I don't think children or infants of even animals are
You're not trying...
What am I?
There's so much. There's so much in this little bit of hogwash. Like, the individual is constantly trying to define his identity. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
This is what we see. This is what we see in the leftist movements. With what I keep saying, it's full of cluster B personality disorders, where they constantly they're role playing all the time. They're like little children, always saying, I'm this astral gender. I'm this Borg gender. I'm an author. Yeah, what have you written?
Well,
I haven't written anything, but I'm an author.
Well, I think if you're talking about children using their imagination,
identify as an author.
Well, if a child wants to,
exactly.
If a child wants to imagine their whatever, like that's an act of imagination.
Yeah,
but it has nothing to do with some existential moment for a 4-year-old or a 3-year-old or whatever. It doesn't happen at that age.
That's all still childish role play, and you see histrionic and borderline people do that especially. The mature mind doesn't do that. Even the matured past a certain age of childhood doesn't do that.
Yeah, you have to at least get a basic understanding of philosophy past at least 15 years old, once you're around 14, 15, then you're like, all right, now I'm thinking about the universe as a whole and philosophy. Then you might read some Sartre or some existentialist and go, okay, this is weird. Who am I? What am I? And you start asking these questions. A 2-year-old in a children's movie? No.
A 2-year-old does not.
Sound like you're about to quote me, Breen.
A 2-year-old is not aware enough of his own existence to have existentialist questions.
Yeah. Like Kierkegaard's not going to come out and go,
1-year-old,
who
like
is
the
God?
kids in Rugrats, especially not. They have not even 1-year-olds do not yet have a functioning consciousness.
Yeah.
They're not self-aware. So
Yeah.
anything that happens in the Rugrats cartoon is projection by parents that are overinterpreting their children's behavior.
Yeah, this is.
And the other. So I have a balance with what the Nazis did to social Darwinism, where they thought evolution has a goal, and what the hard left wing socialists do is they attribute history having a goal, like a conscious direction where it goes. They derive that from Hegel, who was bloody insane idiot, if you ask me.
Let's just go with this being a film major gobbledygook crap.
Yeah, but
statement.
I just want to bring that home. Like all these people think that non-entities have an active conscious drive with intent, like these metaphysical ideas, that they anthropomorphize them and then come to the conclusion that evolution and a history have goals, and by our politics we are just helping it along because reaching the goal is inevitable. We are just helping it along, speed it up, and thus we are on the right side of history. Thus everything we do is justified.
Yeah,
because they think they know where the train's heading.
I don't think there's a connection between metaphysics and politics, but
there is. It is intrinsically. Read Hegel. Hegel essentially believes in a divine in the atheist version of a divine plan, that everything's planned out and inevitable.
That's Hegel for it.
Also, like with the social Darwinism, it actually there's actually a study where exposure to peanuts caused significantly lower amounts of peanut allergies than not exposing people to peanuts.
Yes, because the immune system gets used to it. If the immune system is never exposed to peanuts, and then the first time they're introduced to the system just goes into complete shock. Like, what the fuck is this? What, we need to do something? Oh my god! Instead, just give the kids little doses of it, and they get used to it. It's like getting used to. It's not the right analogy, but getting used to a poison essentially.
Okay. Anyway, I think
vaccination or like an actual working vaccination.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. I identify as
wait. There's another example in this.
No,
and that is why.
No, you had your chance. No,
we should probably move on. Wisp, I'm very sorry, but we should probably move on.
Then don't bring it up.
Let's go.
You brought the fucking peanuts up.
And symbolic order
no, but it was meant as a small anecdote, not a talking
trying
point.
To define her or his identity.
Didn't have anything to do with
Tommy's
this.
identity shifts from only child to big brother, and he starts taking on the responsibilities associated with that
1984.
And not simply because it's a role to fill, not simply because daddy said do this thing. You can't just be ordered to feel empathy. Instead, Tommy takes on those responsibilities by choice, because through life experience he has learned empathy for Dill.
Strange, Maggie, because you keep ordering people and complaining about people not having empathy.
Different genders at birth, Phil and Lil have the same love of bugs, grossness, and toughness.
They're twins.
You started that fight. No, you started it, Lillian.
The creators could have chosen to make Phil love snips and snails and puppy dog tails, and to make Lil love sugar, spice, and everything nice, but the creators chose to make them peas in a pod, which is...
The issue with that is that, I think one's a boy, one's a girl, and it was hard for me to tell because they had the same
yeah, they're all...
The only difference is one has a bow in the hair.
Yeah.
The thing is, When it's a boy and a girl, they're not. What do you say? How do you say this in English? Eineich. They're not from the same egg. So that they shouldn't even look alike as they do. They could. It makes much more sense if they had more different personalities and different interests. Because if they came from the same egg, they would have the same sex.
They can look the same regardless. Like, it's a very rare case. I give you that, but there's a chance.
Yeah, we had
and they are 1 year old, as far as I know.
Yeah. Anyway,
when I was in kindergarten, there was a pair of twins, and the parents seemed, I don't know, indulgent in the idea because they bought them expensive clothes that looked the same, like to really make them stand out, but also make both of them look the same. But they looked completely different from each other. They were both blonde and blue-eyed, but one was much broader, round-faced, and the other was much slimmer. Like, you could easily tell them apart. They were not from the same egg. They looked similar, but they did not look... You could not mistake one for the other. It was impossible. They were different children.
Anyway, they like bugs. Good for them. Let's keep going.
It's a much more realistic, powerful, and positive portrayal, and deconstructs traditional male-female roles in kids' cartoons.
What?
Phil and Lil...
And as we know, Maggie, Maggie, you have absolutely no comprehension of children, and you never will, and you hopefully never have children, because you will fuck them up with this ideological bullshit. We already know now, after years of parents following your stupid ideas about gender-neutral parenting, that it fucks up the kids. And somehow, because parents who tried this were obsessed with this idea that going for gender stereotypes is harmful for the children, either deprive them of any gender associated toys and clothes, or let them choose freely, or force the other sexes stuff on their children, like switched over. And all these parents complained in amazement that their children were unhappy, or right off chose the stuff associated with their sex over the other. As if there is something biological going on, Maggie. And the vast majority of them. It's just that you think you live in this fantasy world where everything is socially constructed. And that is simply not true. That's been debunked like 200 years ago. Come up to the present. Your progressive idea are the most regressive shit imaginable. The only thing more regressive are the really tyrannical strands of some religions, because they're just a couple of thousand years older.
All right.
That's everything. Your religion is just as stupid. It's just a younger one.
Are a vehicle for us to better understand gender identity and gender expression, to feel and understand that gender is a construct.
It is not.
Phil and Lil also play directly.
It is definitely not a construct,
with a simple
you idiot.
It is not.
How did we get here? This was like 30 seconds ago.
I predicted that it's gonna be about the gay shit, but I didn't expect this. Like, goddamn.
Oh, with the twins in the show, you should have.
Gender identity in infants. Are you out of your mind?
Yes, she is. This is what this ideology is doing and pushing, confusing parents with. And then they, with the best of intentions, these parents that buy into this crap then abuse their children. They don't want to abuse their children, but they do it under the false impression that what they're doing is actually good for their children. This is not just pseudoscience. This is counter science. We've known this shit for way longer than these bullshit gender construction ideas have existed.
And like, I wanted to play with swords from the time I was 3. That is just what I wanted to do. And my sisters wanted to do princess stuff. That's just how it was.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I wanted guns. I never got them.
Swords are
Reality
better.
checks and people like her, they don't mix well.
all right. Oh God, let's see how far we go.
Exchange, Phil is able to present female to the world, and none of the parents blink an eye. It feels like the kids get.
No, because
It's
at
comedy.
that age that is irrelevant.
It's a
Kids
joke.
play around.
Yeah, it's a joke.
Also,
So kids are
they still they have
androgynous.
different. They have the same stupid green dress thing
Yeah.
on, but one of them has shorts. It's a detail, but it still is there. I don't think they switched that.
Yeah, this is not a big, complicated social construct issue. This is just animation. They drew the same character a different way slightly, and they use a bow.
Mostly to conserve budget.
Yeah. Essentially, Rugrats misunderstands twins, and you misunderstand children. You misunderstand reality. You misunderstand sex. You misunderstand gender. You misunderstand love. You misunderstand empathy. You misunderstand bloody
Misunderstand
everything.
religion.
I am surprised that you are able to distinguish between your breakfast and your shit.
He also doesn't understand religion and the positive aspects that religion has either.
Okay. All right. Hopefully she'll change topics again, because this is not good.
That gender is just this made-up thing that parents are weirdly concerned with.
Howdy, if you had
Wait,
one of
what?
each, you'd realize
Please
how
go back.
different
Please go back. What?
No. Parents are not really obsessed with it, Maggie.
Why are you doing this to
crazy fetishists.
All
You
right.
gender fetishists. You are obsessed with it, and you put it on other people.
All right. Let's go again.
Parents blink an eye. It feels like the kids get that gender is just this made-up thing that parents are weirdly
they don't.
concerned with.
Howdy, if you had one of each, you'd realize how different boys and girls really are.
And emphasizes how gender is.
So wait a second. The show.
The cartoon just contradicted you, Maggie.
Yeah.
The feminist mother, because she has the Venus symbol on her sweater all the time. The feminist mother contradicted you.
Okay.
Bloody idiot.
This is great.
It's constructed and assigned by parents and society, and how it's forced on children. The idea
It's
that
not forced.
Bow
It
proves
is not
femininity
forced
to
on
parents
children.
is
Kids
delightful.
naturally
Okay,
gravitate
this
to
is-
their own gender stuff.
Yes, and this is real misinformation and disinformation, as they call it. This is real fake news. She is spouting absolute unscientific garbage. Anti-scientific, if we're honest, because that's not just been known throughout human history. This has been proven in data. We have tons, mountains of data proving that this is not a construct. This is not made up. Maggie, you're full of shit, and I am honest, because your shit can be archived and put into some university's backdrop for analysis of insane people. But your stuff, I don't, at this point, I really don't think your stuff should be on a million people platform on YouTube. I know that sounds censorious, but you are doing so much damage to society. You are confusing children and teenagers into thinking they're trans. You are raping culture by saying every male friendship is gay. You are telling parents that their real experiences with their children are wrong, that everything is just a social construct. You are a danger to society, and all of your ilk is. Your religion, your political religion, is a danger to society. It has been when Hitler was pushing it, it has been when Lenin was pushing it, it has been when Mao was pushing it, and Xi Jinping and all these other crazy assholes.
I would go back all the way to the Mongolian invasions, really. I
The
think that's
Mongols-
where she came from.
I think the Mongols were still based. If you look at Genghis Khan's actual history, the man never even fought an aggressive war. He only reacted
But
to
this is the new way that
political
they are
attacks.
interfering.
Also, elements of like the Mongols actually had a demonstrably positive effect on the world because trade under the Mongolian Empire flourished more than at any other time in history, as well as the rule of law was better kept under Genghis Khan than anybody else.
Yeah.
Because they knew that
well, like half of Europe and Asia are connected, then like it's pretty easy to make a trade route. Yes.
Yeah, but the Western depiction of Genghis Khan and the Mongol Empire 10, 20 years ago was absolute crap. Because it's like that there was this arrogance that there could not have been something greater than Rome, and even before Rome.
Yes, they could have.
Yeah, but it's because you are sane and not arrogant. And
my country was devastated by Genghis Khan.
There's some good Indian historians being much more neutral about this whole thing. It's very interesting.
All right,
that's the whole. Genghis Khan is the whole reason why there are stone castles in Europe. If it wasn't for those fuckers with those horses, it would have never happened in Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
Thing is, Mongolians had really good siege tactics. They knew how to besiege cities.
Okay.
It's almost a pity that thing fell apart.
All right. Okay. Let's get off the Mongols and back to Maggie Mae.
Fully absurd.
Oh, poor little boy. I know what's wrong.
Why's she calling Lil Phil? Oh no, Chucky. She thinks Lil is Phil.
Here to talk more about
Because she
Phil
didn't.
and Lil.
No.
My old
Oh God.
What is this?
Holy
hell!
You don't know what this is? We're gonna scar you for life. So number one.
Oh my God.
Number one. Yes, this episode is supposed to show that the mother can't tell her children apart. Yeah, maybe she should have checked for the boxes, because the girl is just having diapers under the dress, and the boy has the you can see the pants sticking out. So she wasn't even attentive. That's her problem. And this shit here. This is queer kid stuff. This is someone, she is not trans. She claims to be. She is this non-binary nonsense, dresses like a cartoon character from, what is this? This is webcomic. I forgot the name and try to ignore its existence. What?
It looks like one of the demons.
No, there's this webcomic made by a pedophile who draws all the characters looking with the proportions of infants and these deformed heads like infants, and basically invented this exact look. And there's so many of these non-binary people who dress like this. They have this weird haircut like this, and then put on a tie, and that somehow makes them non-binary. Wearing a tie, not a tie, a bow tie, and it's always the same bloody look. I've seen TEDx talks held by people, and they all look this exact way. Like they don't have an identity of their own. They're just copying some stereotype they took out of a supermarket and say, "I'm this now." And this one especially is trying to pander to children on YouTube, trying to tell them what being gay is and what being trans is. This is a real child groomer on YouTube trying to sexualize children.
Okay,
this is pure evil.
Let's go.
You can't convince me otherwise, Hawk.
I think Hawk would not argue with you. Okay, let's go.
Hawk is one of the second most based person on this platform, on this podcast.
And this asshole uses that teddy bear for relate with children, be cutesy stuff as a hand puppet. No adult would do this. No adult would want to watch this.
Oh, that's a QKS. I see on the teddy bear's chest there.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I thought it's gonna be KYS, whatever.
And she said, yeah, what does that even mean? I know, like, her t-shirt says it's okay to be queer, but I don't know what the
How about,
JKS
can you imagine heterosexual kid stuff?
That is QK. That is QKS. That's the queer kid stuff.
Yeah,
that's
but imagine it was HKS. Like that's like, why would you even talk about stuff like that? That's just weird.
Heterosexuality
because she's a pedophile.
Technically the most normal like thing from a genetic level, because factually gay men and gay women, if they're in a relationship with someone of their own gender, are not going to further the species at all.
Right, but I'm saying the topic itself, you would not associate with children. You would never do that or talk about that.
Hey, I take that back. A lesbian couple could technically have children through artificial insemination.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, let's keep going.
And the thing with this is...
Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. We're good.
Friend Lindsay Amer, activist plus creator and host of Queer Kid Stuff.
Phil and Lil's frequent bow swapping is pretty unique, even though gender swapping in itself isn't uncommon in animation. Within fandoms, it's known as Rule 63. According to Rule 63...
No! You don't get to appropriate Rule 63, you fucking pedo. Rule 63 is not a random gender swap or sex swap. Rule 63 is specifically Rule 34, but we're not just making everything sexy. We're making porn of everything. It is specifically, there's a male character, let's make a sexy female version of it. Like, that means sexy adult female version of it. That is what Rule 63 is. It is not
It
is not random gender swaps. It's not random sex swaps.
This is what you don't do.
Admittedly, this is not true of my books yet. So Rule 34 or N63 do not apply to me yet.
Yeah, you don't want to apply...
The moment you publish your stuff, the moment you have an audience, Rule 34 and later Rule 63 happen automatically.
Yeah, you don't want to associate the rules of the internet...
16 books.
Yeah, what I'm saying is you don't want to apply this stuff to some world of childhood cultural social studies concept. Like, you don't want to do this. This does not work.
Do this, Maggie. Do not do this.
This
has nothing to do. Rule 63 has nothing to do with Rugrats.
With children. Nothing.
Yeah. Rule 63 is explicitly sexual. It's about sexual content.
Unless they are like massively just open pedophiles.
Yeah.
I told you this is a pedophile. Of course she thinks like that. And people like her put all the sexualization stuff towards children because they want to normalize sexual intercourse with children. It's also why they put all these propositions out that, we should lower the voting age. We should let children decide what to do with their bodies. We should let children, and like when they're 12 or 8, where this is not even relevant, decide to be trans and start transitioning and fuck up their puberty and take this or that medicine. No, that's not up to the child, you fucking asshole. Because when they open up these things, and they lower the voting age, they also say, but this kid already has so much agency. Then if the child can vote, if the child can already drive, if the child can already make all these other life-altering decisions, the child should also then be allowed to make decisions about sexual intercourse. And that is where these people want to go. They normalize all of these other things so that they can then just snap the last puzzle piece in, because then it's just the last salami slice. It's not a slippery slope. It's salami tactics. They're putting all these other pieces into place, and then the last one just snaps in. That's the goal. That's the strategy.
Okay.
And there have been some of these assholes who admitted that that's what they want to do.
Anyway. Also the element of, these kids, teenage pregnancy is a giant problem, and you do not want to allow that to happen ever, because
but look, people like her, she's not interested in children that are fertile. She's interested in pre-puberty children. She's interested in single-digit age children and toddlers.
Okay, that's just. Well, do we know for sure that's the case? She could just be like.
That is her target audience. That's
person. Like,
that is you mean Maggie or?
I mean
Maggie or the
asshole,
square person.
This one here.
Yes, like yeah.
There've been dumps on like Kiwi farms that dug into where her connections and what she's doing and what she's interested in, and it is definitely she has pedo stuff.
All right, guys, let's just keep going. Okay, this is enough for me to be creeped out by. Okay.
There exists an opposite gender counterpart of every fictional character. But when someone gender swaps a character,
it's Rule 63 goes male to female.
Itself or in a fan drawing, it tends to get pretty exaggerated. Aladdin gets high cheekbones and a dress, and Ariel gets pecs and a six-pack. Phil and Lil are already drawn nearly identically despite their gender difference, and all they have to do is pass the bow to make the swap. Their androgyny gives them a fluidity and control over their gender expression that we don't.
You know what's funny? Is that like Joe Crazy on the Discord has posted a picture of like what the creators saw those twins in like later years, and they look completely different from each other.
Yeah,
the girl looks like a girl and the boy looks like a boy.
Yeah, no kidding.
OG, like 1-year-old babies look alike if you have the same hairstyle.
Completely undeveloped blobs of biomatter. Yeah, they have no they have no visual growth or development. Amazing.
Yeah, most babies look rather alike, which is why it's so easy for malicious nurses to swap them.
Well, that's why I find this a bit offensive. Because, like, guys, this is clearly not what the creators had in mind. This person is trying to ascribe some internet rule which has nothing to do with children, let alone babies. And I'm sitting here going, this is kind of gross. This is stupid and gross. I'm like, oh, God. What school did you go to, lady, to think this way?
Honestly, that does not look like a girl. That looks like a nerdy, like, kind of chubby dude.
I don't want to.
Because she wants to be non-binary. And the most people you find that in their 20s claim this non-binary crap. Like teenagers, they're just confused. They're really just confused and they buy into this shit for a while. But the ones who stick with it in their 20s or start with it in their 20s or 30s even, they're usually not very attractive people.
Oh, okay, fine. But like back on the topic, if this was a heterosexual whatever topic, I'd still be very uncomfortable. It's like, why are you talking about this completely different look of 2-year-olds being male or female? Like what? They're babies. They're infants.
Because she too is obsessed with this idea. She especially is obsessed with this idea that it's all just social constructs, that there's no biology involved at all in defining who you are, that it's 0%. When we know, and people like her allege that the other side of the argument is the opposite position of hers. Like the people like her are only able to think in black and white terms. So she thinks it's 0%. Therefore, the other side must think it's 100%. That is not true. Nobody believes it's 100%. Not even the neo-Nazis think it's 100%. What science is mucking around over is it's probably about 20%. 20% biology, 40% environment, 40% socialization. That's the rough mix that is the relative consensus. 20% biology, and that 20% is pretty impactful.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And who was it in the chat? No, I think I've lost it. Okay, my bad.
All right. Anyway, let's keep going.
Oh, right. I found. Someone said, I rarely see a female to male swap. Yes, because that is extremely rarely done, because that's not what Rule 63 is. The female to male swaps are extremely rare because women aren't that interested in it. All the Rule 63 swaps, like 99.999%, are male to female, and they usually have big tits and look really good, because that's what it's about. It's not about it's this. I cannot believe how much sexualization propaganda.
Yeah, and she described the Disney characters like Ariel having pecs. It's like, yeah, why would she have pecs? Let me think about that. Why would Aladdin have really high cheekbones? Let me think about it. This is not complicated.
Kind of the thing is, Aladdin and Jasmine are very similar looking if you look at their models.
Yeah, the thing that she here wants is just seeing Aladdin in a dress. She doesn't want to actually sex swap. She just wants Aladdin in a dress.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's keep going.
I don't typically see. As a very androgynous kid myself, who is frequently...
You are not androgynous, you're just ugly.
I really appreciate how Phil and Lil have the ability to control how the adults around them perceive their genders to their advantage. Phil and
They
Lil
don't!
are the only ones who grapple with gender roles and clothes. In the episode Clan of the Duck,
They're not grappling.
Lil tells the boys that only
They're
girls
playing.
wear dresses because girls are good and boys are bad, naughty babies.
Oh, that's why.
Which, incidentally, she
They
learned
both
after
wear the
mom
same
and daughter female
green thing.
empowerment class. Phil and Chucky get just a little bit jealous and try on dresses for themselves.
Girls can wear anything they want, and so can we. Come on, Chucky. We're gonna try on a dressy.
His green
They wear
thing
the
is a
dresses
dress.
for the entire episode. The way they wrote that episode is truly incredible. Phil and Chucky get chased around by these two older boys who don't like that they're wearing dresses.
Let's get them. Yeah, boys aren't supposed to be wearing dresses. Run, Chucky!
The homophobia and transphobia they get into is intense for a kid show.
You bloody twat!
Transphobia?
What
It's not
are you
transphobia,
talking
that's
about?
just stupid behavior phobia.
This is where these
and
assholes
bullying.
like her.
This is
are conflating cross-dressing with being trans.
This is
with having gender dysphoria.
This is insane. I want to go
I
back
just hate
to
these people.
the
Because
Maggie.
of assholes like this, people outside, when they notice, because of my voice, it's usually just when I open my mouth, because I haven't had voice training yet. It's only then that people get nervous and think, I am one of these neurotic, crazy, rainbow fascist assholes that sues them if they call me the wrong thing by accident. And they immediately lose their tension again. They immediately lose their tension again when the topic comes up, and I clear up, no, I am against all these assholes. Because we don't actually, this pronoun shit we don't care about that. They made that a thing. People like her made that a thing. We
Also
never made that a thing.
Also the words are violence belief that proliferates the woke left that is utterly asinine.
Yeah, it's just a strategy to shut people up that they don't like.
All right, yeah, this is retarded and stupid.
Like those two little boys were just calling out that it is kind of silly that you two are wearing dresses. Stop.
Yeah, it's childish mentality. It's stupid.
It's just kids playing around.
Yeah,
kids
they
going
are
for
literally
phases.
children.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's irrelevant.
I can't believe this person is analyzing this scene so deeply.
Yeah. Okay. What do you?
Even though the
kids
creators don't have any of these things on their mind.
Yeah. What do you do in ancient Greece and Rome, where the kids all wear the same bloody toga?
Yeah.
Oh, what did they do in ancient Greece, where like all the plays were performed by men because women were not allowed? Oh God, she would go crazy about this.
Norse mythology is some weird stuff with Loki.
That's
Greek
another-
mythology.
Yeah.
It's just because he's a shapeshifter. It's irrelevant.
Yeah, it's not. This is not.
He's an element of chaos. This is the thing that people don't even understand. The anthropomorphization of the Norse gods is not a relevant factor. Loki is personified chaos. That's any of this attributing thing stuff. It's just it is It is basically like saying, "Oh, Yahweh as having been as must be God, so technically he must be both sexes too."
I don't know. After Zeus, I don't think there's anything weird about Greek mythology.
God is married. That's also an option.
All right. Anyway, let's get off this frame.
About Rugrats. Phil and Chucky run into a clan of Scottish babies in kilts, because duh, who ward off the bullies and celebrate the freedom of the dressy. Tommy's mom doesn't stop him when he joins the gang in their dress wearing, and that, my friend,
they're wearing kilts.
Joins the gang?
What is that? It's just comedy stupidity.
Yeah, your sexualization of calling your sexualization of children is not progress. The only progress you seek is to be able to legally diddle children of other people or your own. And then you wonder why they turn into psychopaths that eventually kill you when they get older and strong enough.
I can't see this as a thing that's cute or clever or progressive at all. This is just a comedy show designed for kids. Maybe some adults might like it because they're watching it with their kids, and that's about it.
Yeah. She projects that into it. And of course she sees it as progressive, because this is the really horrible, dark thing about socialism, is that it has always been pushed by pedophiles. So yes, since being progressive means being socialist, so that the goal of progressive, because they're the only people who use the term, is the goal of being progressive is to get to where they have the political goals realized, is that progressivism means realizing legalized pedophilia.
Oh. Okay then. Anyway, we're back to Maggie Mae. We're back to the less crazy. Okay, I can handle Maggie Mae.
Are you sure?
Yes. I think I know enough Maggie Mae to know she's less crazy than that crazy freak we just watched. Okay.
We love it.
Need more water.
My best friend growing up wasn't allowed to watch Rugrats because her mother didn't like Angelica's sass, and because Angelica set a bad example. In the writer's room, Angelica created problems too. The creators and the writers disagreed on just how mean to write Angelica. Angelica was based off Gabor's childhood bully, who was a girl. If Angelica were the only female character or only female baby in Rugrats, then sure, we would definitely have a problem. But she rounds out a large, diverse cast. Nowadays, people are mad that Marvel took so long to cast a female villain. Then when they did cast a female villain, she ended up pretty flat. Angelica is
What?
Don't care. Irrelevant to the conversation. She just threw that in there for no reason.
Yeah. Also, wasn't Wanda a villain essentially?
It didn't come out around the time. So.
Yeah, I know.
But yes, the answer is yes.
Completely.
Didn't the comics have female villains at some point?
All kinds, but this is completely irrelevant. So who cares?
spunky and mean, but also vulnerable. We've all known someone like Angelica, a spoiled brat.
What a pretty party dress, Angelica.
Yeah, Maggie, that's you.
Thank you. My mommy's assistant bought it especially for my Aunt Dee Dee's party.
Who has a tenuous relationship to the facts.
You dumb babies got a lot to learn about the facts.
Thank you.
Who routinely demeans everyone around her to make herself feel superior.
Thank you.
Yeah, should we check out your Twitter timeline, Maggie?
Oh,
where
don't worry, we have
where you
enough
gloat
posts from
about
there.
John Peterson being in a coma.
Oh, God.
You disgusting psychopath.
You dumb babies. You know, not all dogs go to heaven.
Yeah, we all know someone like that.
Dogs are dirty and ugly, not like
What?
And as I mentioned before, with
Dogs
every
are
core
disgusting.
show, Angelica's lack of empathy makes her a spectacular antagonist. She's caught between the world of babies and the world of adults. Neither
She's
of
a
which
narcissistic
she
little girl.
comprehends.
It's,
but
but
boy,
that's
does
normal
she
for
try
her
to act
age.
like she does.
Angelica, what? What's the Grand Canyon? Not Grand Canyon, Grand Canyon. Don't you know anything?
Fine.
Dee! What's the Grand Canyon?
She's selfish and awful and not only seems to lack empathy, but genuinely enjoys causing suffering.
Hey, give me back my
Thank you.
They're like your pedophile friends.
Rugrats also doesn't just show Angelica being mean and then getting her way. She usually gets her comeuppance.
Like all cartoons do.
The show implies that Angelica inherits some of these
could have
behaviors
used
from her
an
high-powered
epilepsy
executive
warning.
mother.
There's an alarming crowd at my in-laws indicating either a yard sale or a family tragedy. Let me get back to you.
But again, because of the large, diverse cast, the message is never, women shouldn't be powerful executives.
No. Look, Maggie, you're such a retard. Her mother is a job obsessed. She's job obsessed, and therefore Angelica is neglected. She will probably remain a narcissist forever. She's at that age where she is. That's normal behavior. That's a normal cognitive phase to go through. And my God, those crazy eyes. But her mother, because she's such a career woman, is neglecting her daughter's parenting. While probably because she has so much money, is just able to shower her in material gifts. Like that line of, yeah, I got this dress from the assistant of my mother. Yeah, this girl is gonna be a brat. And because her mother is bad at being a mother. She is basically absent from parenting this brat. And you don't see that nuance, Maggie. Because you don't actually understand anything. You're just crazy.
It's complicated, it's real, it's family. A lot of the drama in Rugrats comes from Angelica listening to the grown-ups, then turning around and telling the babies a false version of what she heard, intentionally or unintentionally misleading them.
Wow, it's like she's an antagonist in the story. How does that work? Wow, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like she's a manipulative asshole narcissist. It's that is Angelica is the basically some way you can learn how these people act. And if you then imagine all these horrible SJWs at the age of Angelica, and if their behavior and the way they think suddenly makes sense.
I think
if you imagine them at this age of 3 to 5.
Yeah, I think if you were writing a children's story about kids, you would want to have a character like this who was so egocentric. And
but what I mean is, if you imagine all these social justice activists at that age of 3 to 5, and suddenly their behavior and the way they think makes sense, then that's an easy litmus test to tell whether they're narcissists or not.
I'm not
So
sure.
Writing a child like that at that age, perfectly reasonable, perfectly fine.
We see a connection, obviously, to the childhood development of egoism, but that's to ascribe that to everyone in the left-leaning category who.
No, it's because they didn't grow out of that phase. They lack that parenting.
I wouldn't paint the whole category that way. I'd say there's some connection, of course, but not.
No, we know what causes narcissist personality disorder. It is that lack of growing out of this phase. They're stuck mentally, in their emotional development in that age.
Yeah, but I don't think it would be this blatant, because Maggie's just like, hey, there's this character like this. It's like, yes, where do you think that came
Maggie
from?
has issues on top of being a narcissist.
I think there's a lot happening in Maggie's life we're not aware of.
Also elements of just pampered kids who never really got their views challenged and believe that everything that doesn't kill you makes you weaker.
Yeah, it's children that have never been told no.
Something along those lines.
This is the simplest way to put it.
Yeah. Okay.
Never shown boundaries, because kids naturally try out to go across boundaries to test. Oh, can I go further? Can I go further? Can I go further? And the opposite side of that this neglect, because then they just think, oh, I can do everything because there are no repercussions. This is a natural way to map out the world. And parenting is supposed to tell you where the borders are, where this is the limit. You do not go across this line because that's bad. And the other extreme of that is what the Quiverful movement is doing, for example. So it's a Christian sect that is highly abusive. And one of their early parenting techniques is, I think they call something carpeting or something. They put the toddler on a carpet on the floor, and anytime the baby leaves gets across the limit, the border of the carpet, the kid gets whacked. So that it always stays on the carpet. That is then ingrained. And it is psychologically ingrained so deeply that most of these children will never, ever challenge anything and go beyond any boundaries in their lives without asking anyone or even considering to ask it. Because it's like believing the confines of what they've been told is immediately bringing up this grain pain of this is bad. I can't even you can't even conceive of it at some point. That's the other side of this of doing it wrong, where you're mentally crippling the child actively.
They have PTSD.
Yeah. Narcissism is a product of passively crippling the child by not giving it any guidance and rules, and this other thing is actively crippling the child in the other extreme.
A a fairly well-known Hollywood screenwriter in air quotes, saying in an interview, as a child I was a pathological liar. My parents never disciplined me. They didn't care.
Yes, one of the Benioff was that, I think.
As David Benioff, also known as Stephen Friedman, son of the former chairman of Goldman Sachs.
Oh well, as we say in German, ass fits bucket. That explains why they don't care about any damages they cause others. And you told me that Benioff, I think, played horrible pranks on the actors all the time, where he gave them the wrong scripts, where it said that your character dies or something, repeatedly. Like that's just that is gaslighting levels of psychological abuse, and it destroys any morale of wanting to work on a show like that. You are causing severe psychological harm to other people, and all because he found it funny.
Yep.
It was all about his personal enjoyment, his abuse of power for sadistic pleasure. And that's the same reason why they just shot off the show, because they never cared about the show. That's why they turned it into shit at the end, because they just wanted to get rid of it.
They just wanted to pander the actors for Emmys because it would boost their own careers. Because that is the only way that you could possibly justify them saying over and over in their commentaries, we wanted to show off the actors. Because these performances, these faces are the reasons why we put in a rape subplot.
Yeah, because they don't actually care about plot. They don't understand plot. They don't understand character. They only understand moving faces on the screen. They don't understand silent acting either. And at least that's what it looks like to me. And
themes are for 8th grade book reports.
And that's also why in the end, they shelved Game of Thrones. They actively destroyed it because they thought, we're going to work on Star Wars next. We have that in our pockets. But if you treat the thing that you're working on, this really grand, impactful thing that could have been remembered for generations, we just turned it into trash because we want to move on to the next thing, then of course the other company, if it has any sanity left, says, you did that to that thing you were working on that we thought you were great in. We don't want you to do that to our thing. We're retracting the offer.
All right.
So the fact that they said Game of Thrones was the most expensive film school ever for us.
They never went to film school.
All right. Here's the Giga Chad. Thanks, Giga Chad. Maggie looks like Terry Hatcher after she's been stretched out and washed on heavy. Oh. Guys, remember what Terry Hatcher looked like 20 years ago? She's rather gorgeous. And then now she's older, but, less
She's
gorgeous.
still a handsome lady.
She's a handsome lady. That's a nice, that's a copacetic way of putting it, I think. But sure, we'll give her that. I cannot imagine learning a concept like empathy through entertainment. It is possible. I always thought
you can't teach empathy.
Was something you have to learn interacting with others. Yeah, that's the best way. Yeah, you would have to actually learn it yourself. That's true.
Yeah, you learn it. You learn it through boundaries being set for you, and basically, if you are too old for that, it needs to be a crushing life event.
Well, anything when you do something.
There's something that forces you into maturing past the mental stage that you're in.
When you do
and that is this growth of consciousness past that point is rather pleasant and nice.
Yeah.
But this change from what by Keegan is defined as out of consciousness 1 to out of consciousness 2 can be painful if you do it late in life. Very painful.
Right. Anytime.
Switch from 2 to 3 as well. But once you're in level 3, it's fine. Every development after that is like amazing. Like suddenly cogs are clicking together. And it's like, that's how it works. Oh, that's interesting. Your whole perspective on life, existence, society as a whole grows and grows ever more. But the stage that people like Maggie and her pedophile friend are at, only a life-crushing event can get them over that. And at the ages that they are, that is more likely driving them to suicide than it is making them grow.
All right.
Because then suddenly, when they gain this ability of empathy through that growth, then they will be able to reflect on the whole life up until that point and realize what absolutely insane and exploitative and manipulative, vile assholes they've been. The reason why this is not crushing children when they go through that growth is they haven't lived that long and they tend to have childhood amnesia anyway.
All right. Okay.
This is why it's so different when these the clinical retards are going through.
All right. Let's get this over with.
At the end of the trial, the jerky guys whisper to each other. Then one of the storytellers goes to jail. Now, since I'm the smartest person here, I'm gonna be the persecutor. Why couldn't we be the persecutor? Watch it or I'll make you the jerky.
But we, as the audience, are able to grasp the reality of the situation through context clues. This brilliantly teaches children not to take everything at face value and that context matters. Rugrats also gives us a built-in answer to Angelica in the form of lovable Susie Carmichael, one of my favorite characters.
Who does Susie Carmichael think she is?
The writers made Susie and Angelica incredibly alike. They're charismatic, love performing, take charge, but Susie shows us how to do that in a way that is warm, loving, and doesn't put the babies down for being themselves.
You move yourself with these pedals. You move yourself? That's amazing. Yep, you can go anywhere you want. Wow!
Oh, and one more thing about Angelica, because I can only imagine what the New York Times would say about it. No, we do not need to empathize with bullies to appease them. It's bullies who need to learn empathy.
Rugrats taught children in the 90s to see things with a fresh pair of eyes, like a toddler. It helped us to see that so much of the world around us is absurd or silly or weird. And that maybe we should have some more sympathy and understanding for one another, because there was a time when we needed that same sympathy and understanding for ourselves.
Sympathy is not empathy.
Maybe we can all learn something, as they say, from the mouth of babes.
Take that, Mikey. I sure showed you.
Oh, is this the end of the video?
Oh my god, she's doing skits again. Oh.
Also,
skits.
It's movies with Mikey, who is also stupid.
Why am I not surprised?
Movies with Mikey is an idiot.
Identity shifts.
He is a massive idiot. I do not understand why anybody likes his content. Well, then again, I don't understand why anybody likes Movie Bob's content, but some people do.
Well.
Oh, the guy who got a stroke? Yeah.
Or Cold Crash Pictures.
I
Guy
don't
is
know.
nuts.
Oh, that guy. Can't forget him. Alrighty. Here we go. January 28th. Here's the meme time. Stream memes it is.
Yay.
All right. Here's the one. You know, she doesn't look that bad. She's okay.
She still looks crazy. I wouldn't want her in my room. I'd
No.
be afraid of what she might do with a sharp object.
Oh, that's sad. Soviet Rugrats. Oh my god.
Oh god.
Thanks, Hawk. More from Hawk. A stroke receiver, stroke giver. Oh.
Instantly used it. Yeah, great. He also has a bit of crazy eyes there, but it looks more like he's in pain.
Wisp, what is this? This is
German Sesame Street.
Wow.
This is Samson, Lulu the snake, and I don't know what the other thing is.
Okay. Wow.
Samson, and this is a full body suit, and the actor is still active, I think.
Really?
And this is a really good Jim Henson costume.
That's like
that is not repulsive like this Barney thing or these other things.
That's like
this is a giant cuddly bear. Everybody loved him.
Yeah, it's like a Jim Henson version of a Wookiee.
Yeah. And
very cuddly Wookiee.
Yeah, and then on the second one you have the later main cast.
Oh wow!
Where you have on the pink one is like that's Samson. Tiffy, the pink one, she's a bit snappy and a bit dismissive, and Lulu is the old snake. She's an old woman and very wise. And the green one on the left is Rumpel. That is Rumble would be a translation. And Rumpel is the German version of Oscar. He looks a bit more friendly, and instead of in a trash can, he lives in a barrel.
A beer barrel, I hope.
For the trash can, you have an entire giant grouch land where it's populated by
Oktoberfest.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, look how he how he looks when he's kneeling down there. It's this whole big fluffy cuddly suit thing.
Neat, very well done.
He has the drip too, I see.
Jeez.
And he has these giant shoes on.
Yeah. Awesome. This is very well done.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, everybody loves Samson.
Here's a Joe Crazy. What'd you post? MuppetFandom.com.
Sesamstraße.
Okay, there we go. Fantastic.
Yeah. That's Elmo wasn't really on German Sesame Street. I grew up with Sesame Street, and then later when I was an adult and I heard of this Elmo thing, like, what is this Elmo thing everybody keeps talking about?
All right, here is.
And then people called me in the English sphere called me weird because you watched Sesame Street and didn't know Elmo? Like, no,
So
Elmo's horrible.
They made a woke 3D reboot Rugrats last year.
Fill it with fire. It looks vile.
Wow.
It looks like a N64 game with better graphics.
It
looks like that awful CGI Garfield show.
Yeah, you're right.
It looks
the
awful.
shading is just not for this show. Like, it has like those soft shadows. I like
a CGI
the
does
off.
not suit this at all. You got to be very, very particular about how you use 3D animation, especially with something that's stylized like this. It just makes them look like dolls are made out of putty.
Everything's
but
plastic.
honestly, I think this still looks less repulsive than the drawn versions.
Really?
Yes.
All right.
The drawing art style, it makes me want to vomit.
Here is gay actor Michael Douglas. Okay. Imagine
Michael
Maggie.
Douglas ain't gay. He married the hottest woman on the planet at the time.
I don't know what's going on there. Imagine Maggie.
Jones is still hot to this day, even though she's like 50.
Imagine Maggie as a child being a character on the show. She'd be like Angelica, but more overly fascistic. Fascistic. Okay. Why can't she stick to shoes like Steven Universe, where it's already tailored to and made by emotionally stunted adults, and leave good shows alone? Well, the interpretation from What's Her Face.
She has to project her shit onto everything.
The queer childhood, whatever nonsense was enough for me to tolerate. Just enough to tolerate. I was like, okay, we're good.
Oh, and Tyler Preston, I'm not saying it looks good. I'm just saying it looks less repulsive. But that's just me. I find all of Rugrats repulsive.
When I was a year old, I didn't think like the Rugrats. Whoever remembers being a year old? Oh,
yeah, Hawk.
Germans do.
Normal people have childhood amnesia, and there is a couple of people who don't. And it seems to correlate a little bit with autism, but it's not. I don't have full childhood amnesia. I remember various events and times from.
So you even remember coming out from the womb?
Thankfully not.
Okay.
Thankfully not. But I remember some things that there's a reason why you shouldn't remember them.
So this is from her Twitter feed from 2 years ago in May. Not to be a bitch, but low-key very happy. Jordan Peterson has been in a coma, so he couldn't yell at young men to take personal responsibility for the economy by throwing their grandmas into the street. So this is during...
You never said anything of the sort.
Yeah, so this is during the start of COVID, so in May.
But Pearson wasn't in coma?
He was pretty much out
Wasn't
for a
that
year.
because of his when he was on meds and was detoxing?
Yeah, he was on barbiturates for a year, and he was, very depressed and this and that.
Yeah, because of his wife. I think she had some illness and
right.
She had cancer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
and that just caught him.
I really want to know what Jordan Peterson did to her, because he helps people. He's been helping people for decades, so I don't know what her problem is.
Yeah, but he's talking sense, and she hates that. And she's and John Peterson is talking science, and is talking straight about sex and psychology. When she keeps when she is on the side that is opposed to all of those scientific facts. Like and Maggie is probably one of those people who says the science is in about climate change and about the coof and everything, goes all by the government line that's been pushed to her. Says this is the science, we have to trust the science. But the moment it goes about biology, about the sexes, about neurology, she ignores all the science, and all these extreme leftists, they are like that.
All right.
They only endorse the science that they like.
So here's another one from the 19th of November, 2021. So just a few months ago. I hope Chris Hayes takes the opportunity to acknowledge the absolute stupidity of these kinds of takes. Yeah, his takes. And never tries to sweep the continuation of violence and bigotry inherent to white supremacy as a valuable lesson, or pursue the good German life trajectory ever again.
What the fuck is the good German life trajectory?
I never heard of that. Yeah.
I mean, neither.
So Chris Hayes, this is what he wrote the same day. Honestly hope that kid takes the opportunity to turn his life around and tries to make the world a better place rather than pursuing the George Zimmerman life trajectory.
Oh, he's talking about Rittenhouse.
Okay. Exhumed Legume in the chat put it well. Peterson is a surrogate father figure for a whole generation of non-leftists. Therefore, he's bad.
Oh yeah, interesting.
And because that's a lot of them are kids who grew up without a father or have a broken father-son relationship, and John Peterson is fixing that essentially. And they just didn't turn leftist. And this level of broken family is what the socialists deliberately create in order to get more supporters, to get more useful idiots. Because when you grow up like that, you are very vulnerable, and you are looking for some place to belong, very much. Because being an individual standing on your own two legs is really hard when you never had anyone to show you how that even works. You can figure that out on your own, but it is really, really hard.
All right. Wisp, here's another photo of 4 versions of the same character over the years.
Yeah.
All right.
This is kind of like the Super Saiyan transformation.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't grow older, he just gets bigger hair.
Yeah, I didn't like the pink one. That was weird.
Oh. Wisp, my day is ruined. And someone's throwing a cookie? What is that?
That's Gromit, the dog of Wallace.
Yeah.
But I don't know how I ruined your day. Context. Citizen.
Hawk is back again with another meme. Maggie actually talking about Rugrats. So boring. Hurry up with the crazy shit. That was within 1 minute she started talking about crazy shit. Hawk, I don't know where you were, but it happened very fast.
Probably too busy playing Left 4 Dead for his girlfriend.
Oh. Here's Mark. Damn you, God damn you. Oh, what happened? Did the monkeys...
Maggie starts talking about babies and gender identity, and I was like, no. You maniacs!
I thought it was the monkey speech, but okay. Fish, Rugrats is classic Shakespearean. The movie she talked about.
Is that what I think it is?
What the heck is this?
It could be milk bottles. Hopefully it's milk bottles.
What am I looking at? I can't even figure that out.
Those are baby things where the babies are lying in the hospital, and it's either milk or piss.
Okay. Fantastic. Thanks, Joe Crazy. Who am I? Oh no! Oh my God!
Lord and Savior Neil Breen.
Which one was this? Was this his twin? His twin?
Yeah, Twisted something. Whatever.
You even know which movie it is?
Look at that! Look at that mustache! Oh my God!
Is that the one with the girl with the penis?
What?
What are you talking about? Jesus, Dunn.
Apparently, at one point, like, there's a thing where we're
talking about Neil Breen, and that you're talking about a girl with a penis. What the hell?
Well, because I'm asking, like, I think, like, Cinema Snob did a thing where it's like looking at, and he's like, "That's a dick."
So anyway, this is amazing facial hair. It's just absolutely stellar.
I can't believe how many years did it take for him to grow it out like that.
Look at that.
It looks almost like some plastic that you can buy in Walmart.
Well, I'm thinking of a different picture entirely. I'm looking at the one later on, and that's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, there's that wonderful jump she made into the wonderful world of identity politics.
They're all stupid.
Looks a bit normal there. Their eyes are closed. From the sequel.
Yeah, when you don't see the crazy in her eyes, she almost looks like a normal person.
There's the two characters. Was it Lily and Lil? Or were those two? Yeah.
Phil
and Lil?
Darkside Phil,
and
yeah.
Phil. something like that.
A boy raised by Maggie Mae Fish.
She looks like she has chewing gum in her hair.
Is that someone from a Halloween movie, or what is that?
I think that I don't know what that is. I just know that it's like some kind of like exploitation horror movie that showed up on the Cinema Snobs channel.
Yeah. It feels like a horror film. SSJ4, thank you. What's going on in this animated GIF? She's punching a pillow. Okay. And here we have, she's kicking a what is the fleur de lis?
She's in a I think that's supposed to be first class in a plane.
And there's a fleur de lis. Is it Canadian? Like, what's going on here? Is this Quebec?
No, that maybe, but the this lily is a general sign of royalty in Europe.
Okay, all right. We have Mark giving me another video. What is this?
Lipstick.
I'm
making pudding chocolate 4 a.m.
The channel is called
I would do that. I would do that.
Because
I
I've
must
lost
admit.
control of my life.
I would do that.
You haven't done that yet?
Here's your pudding, Angelica.
I've done that.
I have no idea how to make chocolate pudding. I know how to make pizza, steak, and a few other things.
You take milk and you take the chocolate pudding powder you get from the supermarket. You heat up the milk, you put the stuff in, and you're done.
It takes a while to
Why
make
do you want to
those.
rave food again?
Chocolate pudding is the easiest thing in the world now. Like for the
all right,
dude.
Like
You use the internet, Dunn.
Making
You
a
type
pizza
in
is way
chocolate
more
pudding
difficult.
recipe, and you try to make it yourself with the kitchen.
Unless, of course, you want to make it all from scratch with natural ingredients.
exactly. That's how you really do it.
Well, I'm expecting that you can buy those in America, but like, I may have been like wondering.
Wow, this is This is the Latin American Big Bird. Thanks, Joe. Look at that. Fantastic.
Is that real?
It's blue. It's amazing.
It's green.
Oh, bluish green, whatever you call it.
That is bright neon green. Where do you see blue in this picture?
The right side of the picture, the hat, the eyelids.
What?
Bluish green.
The hat? No, that is bright neon green. There's no blue in this picture.
Wait, Smud is colorblind?
Yeah, it looks very green to me.
Let me turn my, because I use a light dimmer because based off the time of day.
I think that's why. Yes.
Let me crank it back up. Oh, now it's bright green. There we go.
Hey, what is it when you can't see yellow?
I was worried for a moment.
Yeah.
No, because I use it for like not to stress out my eyes because it's called F-Lux or F.Lux. And it just naturally, because it's like 7:55 here, so it just naturally tones down all the hues.
Oh yeah, it does remove some of the spectrum. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why things.
I use the same.
Yeah. Anyway, that was as far as Maggie Mae goes. Most of the crazy was on her whatever that.
I think we saw some foundations of where her insanity and crazy comes from with her pedo friends.
She's obsessed with the other guy that was not, like, some other channel who's bigger than her at the time, and the creepy queer kid shit, which is
very creepy.
It's just like any time you have kids and sex put together in the same ideas, you're like, whoa.
Yeah, I'm just surprised there has been no FBI investigation and incarceration with that person.
Considering that the FBI did not actively arrest any of the 20 protesters on the 20 occasions left-wing kids have rioted on campus and have actively committed assault and battery on multiple occasions, and very few people have suffered any consequences for it, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, but that's not an FBI issue.
Well,
no,
it's 9/11.
That's a state issue.
Well,
true, but
anyway.
law enforcement's kind of gone down the toilet.
Well, yeah, let's say law enforcement in general, yes.
Anyway, guys, thanks a lot. That was painful.
Horrible.
It was horrible. It was at least manageable. We got through it. It wasn't the worst Maggie Mae video we saw, but we saw other things that weren't Maggie Mae, which were pretty bad. So,
yeah, worst one's either her Fight Club or her Cats video.
Yeah, those were atrocious. Those were the RoboCop one was like a special creepy weird.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Those were bad.
Yeah.
They were extremely bad.
But hey, another month has gone by. I hope you're having a great Friday. Doing whatever you're doing, enjoying the weather, staying indoors. It's like minus 15 C here, so I'm nice and cuddly. And gonna go get something cold and relaxing, just to cleanse my mental palate. Just to
snow.
Just jump naked into the snow.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Running out of the under 30-minute videos for Maggie.
Yeah, I know. It's tough. It's tough to watch any of these things under 20-25 minutes without going, oh, this is worthless. This is ridiculously bad. Anyway, thank you, Dunn, for the suggestion, as always. Whisp is dominating the conversation, and Mark just for chiming in and keeping things cool.
So that's the problem when she goes into psycho stuff.
It's a bit scary. Yeah, I realize that. It's hard to digest. So
it's good that you are here, Gandalf. But wait, what am I talking about?
All right, guys. Have a great night. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you real soon. And bye-bye.
See you.